Chapter 401. The Pinnacle of the Golden Body Realm. The first law rune won the morning light, pierced the dawn. The sudden onslaught plunging Broken Mountain City into a momentary silence. Lu Yun moved forward, each stride crossing through layers of space. When it came to speed, Lu Yun, using the spatial conception, almost reached his fastest speed in the Rune Seed Realm. Everything in Broken Mountain City unfolded before his eyes. Panic, helplessness, chaos. This was the present situation of Broken Mountain City. These people, who lived under the shelter of the profound darkness sect, were no different from the ordinary folks under Morijin rule, especially when facing the unknown fear. Indeed, these people had been under the rule of Morijin decades, or even centuries ago. Due to the plundering by the profound darkness sect, they had prospered in Broken Mountain City. Once the profound darkness sect is eradicated, all of these people will once again become Morijin's subjects. Any legion of the Demon Suppression Army, when attacking the profound darkness domain, is to minimize the casualties of these ordinary people as much as possible. The Far Suppression Legion was always doing so. Whether it was the initial Black Mountain sect or the later Cloud Sea sect and White Lotus sect, they had all been eliminated from their roots. They killed the martial artists related to them, but they did not harass the low-level martial artists and ordinary people. The carnage in Broken Mountain City lasted a full 4 hours and eventually ended with the complete annihilation of the profound darkness sect. Then, it was time for inspection and cleanup. The target, of course, was the remnant of the profound darkness sect mixed amongst the common people. Yi Xian, you are in charge of investigating the remains in Broken Mountain City. Qing Ho, you are in charge of stabilizing the morale of the people in Broken Mountain City. Fang Hui, you are in charge of counting the casualties and acquired materials this time. Lu Yin started assigning work to the demon extermination generals under his command one by one. Not his first time doing so, and with experience, the assignments were organized and orderly. Before long, 2 days passed. General, after investigation, there are a total of 32 remnants of the profound darkness sect in Broken Mountain City, including 3 martial artists in the Origin Fluid Realm, 7 in the Transforming Origin Realm, and 22 in the True Qi Realm. In addition, the city lord of Broken Mountain City, Lu Feng, was originally one of the stewards of the profound darkness sect, but he has now destroyed his foundation. Please instruct the general. Inside the conference hall of the number 18 battleship, Yi Xian presented his report. All remnants of the profound darkness sect, kill them all. As for Lu Feng, according to the laws and military laws of Morijin, he is declared innocent. Yes. After receiving the instruction, Yi Xian returned to his original position. Then, Fang Hui presented his report. General, we have killed 1 martial artist in the Rune Seed Realm, 15 in the Golden Body Realm, 53 in the Origin Fluid Realm, and more than 1,000 others. We lost 3 black-rank demon extermination generals who were severely injured, 5 yellow-rank demon extermination generals who died, and nearly 100 other demon extermination guards injured. Finally, we confiscated spiritual crystals, pills, spiritual objects, weapons, cultivation techniques. Lu Yun nodded slightly, killing more than 1,000 martial artists of the profound darkness sect, and losing less than 100 of the demon suppression army. This could be described as a big victory. Pass my command for the fallen yellow-rank demon extermination generals. Compensate their families or relatives with 2 5th-grade pills. For the other fallen demon extermination guards, depending on their realms, compensate their families or relatives with 2 pills of the corresponding grade. In addition, lower the threshold for their direct relatives to join the demon suppression army. Your command is wise, General. This was the benefit enjoyed by the demon suppression army. Many generals in the hall felt nothing unusual. However, Lu Yin's next words took them by surprise. Fang Hui, Take 10% of the pills and spiritual crystals confiscated this time and distribute them to the top 100 demon extermination guards who have killed the most enemies. General, I'm afraid this isn't a good idea. Every demon suppression army had to report the situation of the battlefield casualties as well as the strategic assets captured, then hand them over uniformly. At the end, according to the casualties and confiscated assets, they evaluated each demon suppression army's performance and distribute resources accordingly. Now, directly using 10% of the resources will directly affect their final evaluation of their demon suppression army. This, in the end, will directly affect their interests. Do as I say. Lu Yun didn't care about the opposing voices in the hall and made a decisive decision. Looking at the indisputable Lu Yun, no one dared to raise any objections. This magnificent victory was mainly brought about by Lu Yun himself. Otherwise, even if they had won, the loss would have been heavy. This point, every demon extermination general in the hall was very clear. If there is nothing else, you may leave. 2 days of rest, then the army will proceed. Soon, the hall regained its quiet, leaving only Lu Yun. For Broken Mountain City, which has a Rune Seed realm powerhouses in charge, not even a 7th grade pill has been confiscated. Lu Yun shook his head slightly, refining the 2 top-tier purple 6th grade pills in his hand. These were all top-grade 6th-tier pills. After refining, they contributed a total of 150,000 energy values for Lu Yun. Name: Lu Yun Affiliation, Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Demon Suppression Army, Cultivation Technique Dash, Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, Golden Body Episode, Accomplishment, 36%, Astonishing Wind Saber Manual, 5th level, Annihilation 100%, Life Destruction Saber Technique 2nd level, Unparalleled Blood Blade 100%, Wind Thunder Manual 3rd level, Instant Horizon 100%, Fist Scripture 2nd level, Sky Lion Shaking the Sky 100%, Finger Scripture 1st level, Formless Tribulation Finger 100%, Innate Talent Level 9 Martial Arts, Late Golden Body Realm, Energy Value for 95,000, automatically increases by 50 each day. Conception, Slaughter Conception, 6th rank 1%. Thunder Conception, 6th rank 52%. Spatial Conception, 6th rank 1%. Skill, Level 6 Alchemy Technique, 27%. Chapter 402, The Pinnacle of the Golden Body Realm. The First Law, Rune _2 Talent. White Lotus Flame, 7th rank 1%. Luck Value, 81. The energy value is about to break through the major hurdle of 500,000. I should enhance my strength soon. Lu Yun voiced, his eyes full of radiance. He glanced at the entrance of the main hall, and with a thunderous sound, it closed automatically. Consumed 40,000 energy value. Pure Yang Martial Arts, Canon Golden Body Chapter elevated to Great Accomplishment 56%. After Yixian and the others left, looking back at the thunderous closing door, Qing Ho commented with lingering fear, I feel that the general's power is growing stronger and stronger. Just one glance made me swallow the words on the tip of my tongue. You also had this feeling. I thought it was only me. Fong, we concurred. The always silent Meng Fan shook his head and said, It's not that the general's power is getting stronger, but we have silently developed fear for him in our hearts. It seems so ever since I saw the general casually kill the Golden Body Realm Peak powerhouses. Even the Rune Seed Realm powerhouses could not withstand more than 3 blows from him. My awe for him has grown. The crowd agreed upon hearing this. What do you think the general's current strength has reached? A black rank demon exterminating general in the later stages of the Golden Body Realm suddenly asked. This question immediately aroused everyone's curiosity. Among them, the strongest was Yi Xian at half-step Rune Seed Realm. Others, including Qing Ho, Fong Hui, and Meng Fan, had not yet condensed rune seeds and had little understanding of the rune seed realm's power. However, Lu Yin was able to kill Zhang Wen, who was covered in runes and plunged into madness, and this level of strength far exceeded their imaginations. Brother Yi, you are now very close to the rune seed realm. You should be able to tell something about the general's strength. Hearing this, Yi Xian paused for a moment, recalled the scene of Lu Yin's forceful move 2 days ago, and slowly said, "From the current situation, he should be comparable to General Wei Zongqing, but he may not have displayed all his strength. It's hard to guess." The demon extermination generals of Far Suppression Legion were all aware of Wei Zongqing's strength. Wei Zongqing, although he had just broken through to the mid-stage of the rune seed realm not long ago, wielded the Black Mountain Seal, a supreme treasure, and almost no one in his realm was his match. Late stage of the Golden Body realm, nearly invincible at the mid-stage of the rune seed realm. It's simply too terrifying. Qing Ho and other demon extermination generals resisted the impulse to laugh uproariously, choosing to maintain a modicum of dignity. The stronger Lu Yin was, the happier they were. In the demon suppression army, the stronger the general, the greater the benefits to the demon extermination generals and guards he leads. The general is strong, but it's a solitary strength. Only when our entire demon suppression army becomes stronger will we be truly powerful. If only the general is strong, and we, the demon extermination generals and the guards under our command, are weak, we'll fall behind the general sooner or later. I believe you all know what the outcome will be. Yi Xian's cold voice interrupted everyone's illusionary thinking. Indeed, Lu Yun has the status of Saint Child, and his cultivation speed is unparalleled by common reasoning. In 2 days, the enemies we face will be much stronger than before. Everyone better take this time to assimilate the gains from the previous fight. Otherwise, even with the general there, it'll be difficult to chew that hard bone. In a blink of an eye, 2 days passed. Under the reassurance of Demon Suppression Army, order and stability were restored in Broken Mountain City. The city's residents went about their lives as usual, no different from before. To those low-level martial artists and common people, whether they are under the rule of profound darkness sect, Morijin, there is no difference really. The only difference is that, under the rule of Morijin, those people without background or qualifications have an additional route to enter the martial path. However, all this will have to wait for the end of the 100 Sects War, for Morijin to establish states and build martial academies in the coastal zones. In the Grand Hall, Lu Yun sat, eyes closed on the dark throne, his body emitting a brilliant golden light that illuminated the entire Grand Hall. At this moment, above his vast primordial sea, a single rule was drawn from afar, connecting the vast golden primordial sea. After advancing to the peak of the Golden Body realm, primordial sea, flesh, and spirit intermingled, causing a transformation in the Golden Body. Compared to before, Lu Yun could sense the heavens and earth with ease, seeming to become a favorite child of the heavens and earth. After exhausting nearly half of his mental strength, he directly drew the rules that wrapped around the heavens and earth. Golden Body can touch rules, but it doesn't necessarily withstand the bombardment of rules. The usual Golden Body realm peak would definitely make thorough preparations when drawing the first strand of rules. If they are not careful, they would have the Golden Body damaged by the rules and need a few months to recover and restore it. For Lu Yin, there were no such taboos. Boom, boom, boom. Powerful law mercilessly struck his physical body, but Lu Yin stood firm, not even frowning. His gold body was terrifyingly robust, far surpassing any other peak gold body realm. Above the Yuan Hai, boom, 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 Yuan Hai boiled, surging magnificently and transforming into golden tigers, roaring towards the strand of law. 10,000 pure yang strong origin, transformed into 10,000 golden tigers, roaring towards the sky, circling the strand of law continuously. Above the throne, the gold body burst into brilliant golden light, growing more and more powerful. Suddenly, the golden light dazzled to the extreme. Peerless golden tigers, circling a golden dragon, emerged from the gold body and filled the entire palace in an instant. The golden tiger is the pure yang strong origin, while the golden dragon is the thread of law embedded in the gold body. At this point, they merged. With the passage of time, a golden diamond rune was gradually formed. One could vaguely see a thread of golden pattern on it. Boom, boom, boom. The golden diamond rune, under the pull of Yuan Hai, again concealed within the gold body. Above the Yuan Hai, a golden diamond-shaped rune pressed down, and Lu Yun slowly opened his eyes. The first law rune is complete. Name, Lu Yun Power, Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Demon Suppression Army, Cultivation Technique, Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, Golden Body Episode, Perfection 1%, Astonishing Wind Saber Manual, 5th layer, Destruction 100%, Life Destruction Saber Techniques, 2nd layer, Unparalleled Blood Blade 100%, Wind Thunder Manual, 3rd layer, Instant Horizon 100%, Fist Scripture, 2nd layer, Sky Lion Shaking the Sky 100%, Finger Scripture, 1st layer, Formless Tribulation Finger 100%, Martial Arts, Peak Gold Body Realm, 1 rune, energy value, 165,000, automatically increases by 50 each day. Conception, Slaughter Conception, 7th rank 1%, Thunder Conception, 7th rank 1%, Spatial Conception, 6th rank 1%. Skills, level 6 Alchemy Technique, 27%. Talents, White Lotus Flame, 7th rank 1%. Luck value, 85, note 1. Luck value boosts the grade of weapons or magic treasures and merges the same type of weapons. Note 2, Martial Academy Saint Child, increases by 1 every day. Earth rank Demon Extermination General of Demon Suppression Army, increases by 1 every day. In 2 days of seclusion, Lu Yin not only increased his cultivation to the peak of the gold body realm, but also condensed the first rune. Furthermore, he also elevated his Slaughter Conception and Thunder Conception to the 7th rank, greatly enhancing his power. This enhancement was multifaceted, including his spirit, strength, and gold body. In short, compared to before the seclusion, Lu Yin's overall strength had almost doubled. I've just achieved perfection in the Golden Body episode and have been able to inscribe the first rune. According to this trend, as long as I reach the extreme of perfection, I could inscribe almost 100 runes. 100 runes. Lu Yun couldn't help but reveal a trace of a smile in his eyes. A peak gold body realm martial artist, desiring to successfully condense rune seeds, needs at least 36 runes. Condensing rune seeds from 36 to 63 runes is considered low level. Condensing rune seeds from 64 to 80 runes is considered mid-level. Condensing rune seeds from 81 to 98 runes is considered high level. 99 or more runes can be condensed into superior rune seeds. As long as Lu Yin reached the extreme of the Golden Body episode, he could condense 100 runes, that is, superior rune seeds. However, perfection is not the limit of the Golden Body episode. Beyond it, there is the stage of reaching profound. Thinking of this, ripples couldn't help but rise in Lu Yun's heart. The rune is complete. Superior rune seeds are within reach. Lu Yun squinted, laughing joyfully and delightfully. Chapter 403. Strange, the destruction of fierce ghost sect in the northwest corner of the profound darkness domain. Dark Cloud Manor was the territory of the fierce ghost sect, a subordinate force of the profound darkness sect. Han Feng silently leaned against the throne, its armrests made from eerie bones, giving it a ghastly appearance. He looked around the pitch-black hall, shrouded in a bizarre mist. It'll just wait a little longer. Once the powerful martial artists of the profound darkness sect leave, it will be the end of Dark Cloud Manor and millions of the human race members. TSK, TSK. Han Feng licked the corner of his mouth, excitement flickering in his eyes. With all this flesh and blood, I'll regain my golden core realm in one fell swoop. Golden core realm. Han Feng stood up and walked out of the dark hall, appearing in the sky above the fierce ghost sect and surveying the scene below. But before that, I need to absorb these martial artists' power, recover to the late rune seed realm, and maximize the activation of my divine ability. Boom! The void exploded, sending out 100 feet of bright light. Runes swirled, and a sinister rune seed began to manifest within Han Feng's body. As long as I devour all these martial artists, my rune seed's power will surge and I will return to the late rune seed realm. Han Feng laughed loudly and then rushed out, howling. The runes intertwined, forming a giant web. When the radiant sea of runes first enveloped the outer peaks of the fierce ghost sect, everyone there, from busy servants to steward plundering resources, shook. Then their bodies quickly withered and turned into bloodlines that floated toward the sky. Han Feng's released rune seed emitted a spreading light that resembled a black curtain. As it absorbed the floating bloodlines, it enhanced its power and soon enveloped the entire fierce ghost sect. In the deep sky, Han Feng, a mysterious originator, seemed to transform into an eerie devourer with silver pupils, swallowing everything above the fierce ghost sect. Strangely, the luminous runes covered the entire fierce ghost sect, but did not damage the buildings or living trees at all. Meanwhile, in a magnificent hall at the inner peak, in an obscene chamber, my darlings, have you missed me? An elderly man with white hair and a ruddy complexion opened the door with a chuckle and stepped into the room. 2 naked bodies lay on the red bed. One was a slightly prettier girl with clouded eyes, void of all hope. The other girl blushed, wiggling seductively like a snake, and teased, "Elder Feng, you're here." "Hee, I had to handle something, so I'm sorry for neglecting you 2 beauties." Elder Feng, grinning lasciviously, stripped off his clothes and lunged at the cherry-red bed, embracing the blushing girl tightly and nibbling all over. Suddenly, he seemed to notice something wrong. The weak body in his arms became increasingly rigid, much like a withered tree bark. Realizing this abnormality, he immediately stopped. "What?" Elder Feng, in a panic, threw the girl away and tried to flee the grand red bed. At that moment, the 2 youthful girls on the bed had their faces and bodies frozen, bereft of life, as if drained by a mysterious force. Slowly, under his watch, they turned into 2 withered skeletons. What on earth is happening? Stunned, Elder Feng's heart filled with immense terror. As a golden core realm elder, Elder Feng quickly sensed the strangeness in the situation. A sinister black light filled the room, even enveloping him, but his gold body remained unharmed. Upon noticing this, he rushed out of the chamber. This power, which could drain the life from 2 Meridian Passage realm martial artists so effortlessly in front of him, a gold body realm expert, was beyond his capability to handle. At this moment, all he could think of was fleeing the room as soon as possible. Without any obstacles, Elder Feng left the room and burst out of his grand hall. However, he was soon left dumbstruck by the scene before him. Scattered bones, bloodlines filling the sky, a black curtain enveloping the heavens and earth. Is it an invasion by a powerful enemy, or is it? Elder Feng dared not think any further. He hurried toward the fierce ghost sect's main peak to report the situation to the sect master. Aside from the Supreme Elder, the sect master was the only rune seed realm expert in the fierce ghost sect who might be able to handle this bizarre power. "Master, save me." Just as Elder Feng prepared to leave, a voice from behind caught his attention. He turned to see his second disciple, who had recently broken through to the transforming origin realm. However, at this moment, the black power enveloped him, draining his true origin vitality and blood. His once lively body now withered and turned into bloodlines, floating upward. This power seems to be growing stronger Elder Fong felt a sudden, terrible premonition in his heart. With that, he could no longer afford to delay. He was unsure if this unnerving force could drain the life from a gold body realm practitioner as well. If it could, Elder Fong dared not imagine any further. He exploded with unparalleled speed and rushed toward the tall peak, symbolizing the fierce ghost sect's most exalted position. On his way, he felt the power enveloping the fierce ghost sect growing stronger and stronger. Chapter 404. Strange, the destruction of fierce ghost sect to everything he saw seemed to confirm his previous premonitions and current feelings. Gradually, some transforming origin, realm mid-stage disciples of the fierce ghost sect turned into withered bones. By the time he reached the foot of the main mountain, even the transforming origin realm late-stage disciples of the fierce ghost sect couldn't escape this fate. Can the sect master solve this unknown force? What if even the sect master can't deal with it? Somehow, such a thought suddenly emerged in Elder Fong's heart. But, in any case, the only person he could think of now was the sect master. He had thought of escaping the fierce ghost sect, but as soon as this idea came to mind, he felt an impending crisis looming over him. This feeling told him that as soon as he left the fierce ghost sect, he would be instantaneously met with death. With his golden body realm cultivation, he was very fast, soon arriving on the main mountain. However, he found that there was no sign of life on the entire main mountain. On the main mountain were the sect master's disciple lineage and the fierce ghost sect's core disciples, with the weakest being in the true Qi realm, and many were heavenly pride experts in the origin fluid realm. Moreover, there were one or two who had already reached the peak of the origin fluid realm and would soon step into the golden body realm, just like him. But now, there was not a single figure on the vast main mountain. What was left was an even stronger sense of crisis. Moreover, after arriving at the main mountain, he felt that the pervasive black eerie force was even stronger, and even his flawless golden body was unable to resist it. I can't stay here any longer, or even I will follow in the footsteps of the others. He promptly left the main mountain and headed in another direction. That was the fierce ghost sect's rear mountain, where the Supreme Elder cultivated in seclusion. Without the command of the Supreme Elder, no one except the fierce ghost sect master could enter. But at this moment, the matter concerned the life and death of the fierce ghost sect and his own survival, so he could no longer care about so many rules. In less than an hour, the fierce ghost sect was plunged into dead silence and panic, and the already sinister and terrifying mountains became even more so, filled with withered bones. Rune Seed Realm mid-stage. I should be almost able to deal with that old fellow, but it's not safe yet. Han Feng spoke lightly, seemingly dissatisfied with his current realm. To advance from the Rune Seed Realm's early stage to mid-stage in less than an hour was a miracle for anyone. Yet to Han Feng it was trivial. His dark, gloomy eyes looked down at the fierce ghost sect, and his cold, cruel voice echoed through the void. The seeds of the past have grown into sprouts, and it's time to harvest them. Suddenly, among those solemn golden body realm martial artists in the fierce ghost sect, several with late-stage and peak golden body realm cultivation had their bodies suddenly explode. Golden blood and vast true origins were wrapped up by a terrifying force and turned into beams of light, quickly flying towards the eerie rune seed in the sky. Once again absorbing these powerful nutrients, the runes on the rune seed became even more powerful, and Han Feng's aura surged once more. At this point, he had advanced another level within the Rune Seed realm's mid-stage. If he continued to advance, he would reach the limit of the Rune Seed realm's mid-stage. Almost there, almost reaching the limit. But these ants, they need me to personally take action to succeed. For those golden body realm cultivators whose demonic seeds he had planted long ago, he could effortlessly absorb and refine them. However, He couldn't do the same with other Golden Body Realm cultivators yet. Boom! The sky trembled as Han Feng, shrouded in black fog, his aura sinister and terrifying, and his true appearance hard to discern, descended upon the gathering place of these Golden Body Realm powerhouses. Even though his appearance had changed dramatically compared to before, he was still recognized by others. Sect Master! The Hall Master of the Law Enforcement Hall looked at Han Feng, trembling, disbelief filling his eyes. He's the Sect Master. Some people were truly shocked. For Sect Master Han Feng, they were very familiar. He was the rare genius of the fierce ghost sect who had entered the Rune Seed Realm within just 50 years of cultivation. Not even 50 years old and already in the Rune Seed Realm. Even when placed among top-notch sects such as the Nine Nether Demon sect, he would still be considered heavenly pride. Ever since he stepped into the Rune Seed Realm, the previous sect master had voluntarily stepped down and left the position of fierce ghost sect master to Han Feng, retreating to cultivate in seclusion in the rear mountain. Under his management, the fierce ghost sect flourished with no shortage of talented disciples, even having over a dozen Origin Fluid Realm cultivators. Now, the person appearing before them was none other than Sect Master Han Feng. However, the current Han Feng had changed dramatically compared to his past self. This change was not only in appearance, but also in temperament. In the past, Han Feng was dignified and calm. Now, Han Feng held a strange, gloomy aura that sent shivers down people's spines. Merge with me, and you will witness the power of the Golden Core Realm, even the heavenly human realm. Han Feng laughed strangely, dark wind swirling around him as the runes formed a black curtain, absorbing all light and enveloping the trembling golden body realm martial artists. Sect Master, don't! Soon, everything was plunged into darkness. When the black curtain dissipated, all that was left were piles of withered bones. Even in death, the bones of Golden Body realm martial artists were unbreakable, stronger than gold and stone. Yet these withered bones were no different from the others, crumbling at just a gust of wind. Chapter 405 Strange Fierce Ghost Sex Extinction _3 How satisfying! Han Feng licked his tongue with lingering pleasure, revealing an extremely content expression. Raising his head, he looked towards the mysterious back mountain with a hint of a sinister smile in his eyes. As long as I devour your vitality and blood essence, I will be able to recover to the late stage of the Rune Seed Realm. The back mountains of the fierce ghost sect were shrouded in fog all year round, hiding a strange creature called ghost insects. The ghost insects were spiritual creatures nurtured by the Supreme Elder, capable of absorbing human souls. Even those in the Golden Body Realm would be reduced to walking corpses if their sea of consciousness was infected by ghost insects when they recklessly trespassed. Elder Feng stumbled into the thick fog and was instantly covered in a dense mass of ghost insects. Get lost, all of you. He waved his sleeves, unleashing powerful bursts of strength that killed all the ghost insects that surrounded him. Normally, he would never dare act like this, but things were different now. The coming tide of ghost insects grew more and more numerous, and he gradually found it harder to cope. He had no choice but to stay on guard while channeling his Yuan Hai and shouted loudly, Junior Feng Cheng requests to see the Supreme Elder. Junior Feng Cheng requests to see the Supreme Elder. His call was quickly answered. Who dares to disturb this old man's meditation? The voice was cold and ruthless like a chilling wind, instantly freezing a person to the core. The wind howled, and the sinister fog spread. Countless ghost insects seemed to have received some order, immediately stopping their attacks and retreating back into the mist. Instantly, an ancient and decayed figure appeared in front of Feng Cheng. It was a dried-up skeleton that seemed devoid of life. However, soon countless ghost insects howled and arrived. Flesh and blood grew, and a vigorous body was born. Without this old man's orders, How dare you trespass into the back mountain and kill so many of my spiritual insects? If you can't give a good explanation, you'll know the consequences. Feeling the chilling gaze upon him, Feng Qing shivered, knowing that the other party wasn't bluffing. Every member of the fierce ghost sect knew of the Supreme Elder's methods. Supreme Elder! Just as Feng Qing was about to speak, a powerful pressure suddenly arrived, shaking the fog that veiled the back mountain all year round. Hee, I didn't expect there to be a fish that slipped through the net. The sinister and eerie voice seemed to come from the depths of one's heart, crawling up along the body and quickly reaching the sea of consciousness. Feng Qing was momentarily stunned by the strange voice, and when he snapped out of it, his whole body trembled. He has come! He's pursued me! Immediately after, a black diamond-shaped rune flew out, transforming into a terrifying black sea that poured down from the sky, threatening to submerge Feng Qing. Don't even think about killing someone in front of this old man. You're courting death. The Supreme Elder of the fierce ghost sect flicked his sleeves, and a black, bone-like, magical treasure flew out. The runes on it were dense and incredibly powerful, emitting a layer of black light that blocked the black sea pouring down from the sky. Hee, old man, you can hardly protect yourself but still want to save others? Since that's the case, I will deal with you first. Han Feng sneered, the runes around him flowing as strange rune seeds emerged from his body. Dark, diamond-shaped runes flickered with a mysterious light, forming a huge black curtain that enveloped the entire back mountain. The light flowed, revealing Han Feng's figure and appearance, a bizarre and twisted face, barely recognizable from his past visage. Upon recognizing Han Feng's figure and appearance, the Supreme Elder of the fierce ghost sect hesitated for a moment, shock and astonishment flashing in his aged eyes. You are Han Feng. He quickly changed his words. No, you can't be Han Feng. This old man, you do have some insight, but that's not going to change your outcome. In an instant, countless streams of black water poured down, sweeping forward to engulf the Supreme Elder of the fierce ghost sect. Such a formidable strength. What kind of creature did this wretch become? To be able to display such a terrifying power, the Supreme Elder of the fierce ghost sect didn't dare to delay, offering up all the runes on his rune seed to infuse them into the dried, bone-like magical treasure in his hand, suppressing the black sea that was sweeping toward him from all directions. However, he overestimated his own strength and underestimated Han Feng. With a brief encounter, the dried bone magical treasure was submerged in the Black Sea. What alarmed him was that within the Black Sea, there was a strange devouring force that quickly absorbed the runes and spirituality of his magical treasure. Then it surged like serpents, enveloping his entire body. A mere mid-rune seed realm cultivator has actually delayed me for so long. An hour later, Han Feng emerged from the back mountain of the fierce ghost sect, indifferently saying, But at least I've now recovered to the late stage of the rune seed realm and can use my divine ability. In the area of Dark Cloud Manor, a cold and sinister voice echoed through the sky. Ants, accept your fate. You will soon be fused with me and reborn. Han Feng's expression was indifferent as he descended above Westward City. A black curtain enveloped thousands of miles, like a black abyss swallowing all living beings. Wherever it went, living beings vanished, leaving behind only lifeless buildings and trees. All the villages, towns, cities, whether ordinary people or martial artists, disappeared without a trace, turning into piles of white bones. The martial artists of Westward City only thought the voice was a joke when they first heard it. This place was the fierce ghost sect's territory and an affiliated region of the profound darkness sect. Even a strong cultivator in the rune seed realm wouldn't dare to trespass here. However, when the black curtain descended, they knew what true horror was. No, I don't want to die. A golden body realm martial artist was horrified, unleashing all his potential to escape into the void. But soon, a huge black hand fell from the void, catching him in its grasp. Then, ship number 18 streaked through the vast sky, rapidly approaching Dark Cloud Manor. After leaving Broken Mountain City, Lu Yun led his troops to occupy another city, seizing a generous amount of war spoils. His target this time was the fierce ghost sect that ruled over Dark Cloud Manor. Upon learning this news, Yi Xian, Qing Ho, and the other demon extermination generals were all excited. Compared to conquering sects, towns and cities were insignificant. Each sect had at least hundreds of years of accumulation, with numerous cities providing resources. They had vast resources and a terrifying foundation. As long as they took down a sect, everyone from Earth-rank demon extermination General Lu Yun to ordinary demon extermination guards would reap the rewards. As for whether they could capture the fierce ghost sect, they had no doubts at all, because Lu Yun was with them. Chapter 406. The Abyss Prison, full-scale outbreak near the sea. Numerous lakes and rivers were found in the large area covered by crisscrossing mountain ranges, which were shrouded in mist all year round. The huge battleship glided smoothly through the deep sky, creating ripples. In an instant, it covered 10 or even dozens of miles. Just in terms of speed, this had already reached the speed of a Rune Seed Realm expert. Of course, this was not the limit of the number 18 battleship, as there were many smaller ships trailing behind it. Lu Yun leaped onto the top of the battleship, looking down at the rapidly passing mountains and land. The profound darkness domain, as well as the entire Boundless Sea region, was vast with a sparse population. Often, cities were separated by tens of thousands of miles. If Morijin were to establish a jurisdiction here, they would maximize the exploitation of the resources in this area, causing a huge leap in Morijin's population. Thinking of this, Lu Yun shook his head slightly. He looked up at the endless stars and saw the faint starlight coming from afar, although very distant. In this endless galaxy, countless stars radiated brilliant light, unparalleled and vast, magnificent and grand. The conflict between Morijin and the 100 sect, the disputes of the human race's orthodoxy, and all the love and hate, life and death, seemed insignificant in comparison. Sigh. Lu Yun sighed softly, standing atop the battleship, gazing at the stars and gazing down at the majestic mountains and rivers. As time passed and 1,000 years went by, the 100 sect retreated from the 9 provinces, and Morijin ruled this territory. The decline of the 100 sect and the rise of the imperial court all resulted from absolute strength, causing the changes in prosperity and decline. Then, in the future, would there be a new power rising on this land, replacing the Morijin imperial court, establishing a foothold in the 12 provinces and dominating the Boundless Sea region? At this moment, Lu Yun had a new insight in his heart. Changing of dynasties and ups and downs. What does it have to do with him? What he needed to do now was to use all resources to become a strong, free being, traveling through countless mountains and rivers and witnessing endless stars as soon as possible. Currently, all he knew was the land of Morijin's 12 provinces. As for the boundless great wilderness to the west and the Boundless Sea region to the south, they were unknown and seemed to be shrouded in layers of mist. To break through the unknown and unravel the fog, one needed unparalleled strength. Lu Yun asked himself if he had the qualifications to enter the boundless great wilderness or the Boundless Sea region with his current strength. The answer was a definite no. Even if he broke through the Golden Core or even achieved the celestial human realm, he still wouldn't be confident. Surely there are other ways. Lu Yun murmured softly. The first-generation primordial emperor and those saint children disappeared into the long river of history, leaving no trace or records. He couldn't help but think that the key to leaving this region might be the core secret of the imperial court. If that was the case, he should climb higher in the demon suppression army and strive to approach that core. However, could he make such a choice? Duanqing had said that Xiao Chen was waiting for him deep in the great wilderness, and that time was running short. As for Xiao Chen, what Lu Yun could know was that the other party might not belong to this world. Perhaps the other party also had a way to leave this place. Lu Yun frowned slightly but couldn't be sure. From the beginning to the end, he had never heard any rumors or hints. Take it one step at a time, and for now the main goal is to improve my strength. Lu Yun sighed, gathered his thoughts, and began to add points. Last time he had gone into seclusion, he had reached the peak of the Golden Body Realm, inscribing the first rune. After a long period of settling, coupled with this enlightenment, his state of mind had improved greatly. Before long, the second law rune was inscribed. Following that was the third one. An hour later, above the Yuanhai Sea, 5 rhomboidal golden runes had appeared, emitting a dazzling golden light, suppressing the surging Yuanhai Sea. It seems that to condense the rune seeds, it will take at least another month or 2. Lu Yun sighed, lifted his foot, and stepped forward, heading towards Westward City, hundreds of miles away. Once they took Westward City, their next step was to attack the fierce ghost sect. Lu Yun was looking forward to the fierce ghost sect. But as soon as he took a step, a mysterious fluctuation came from ahead. What is this? Lu Yun's eyebrows raised as his pupils flickered with golden light. With an awe-inspiring and majestic aura, like a vast abyss, his gaze pierced through the hundreds of miles to look at Westward City. It's actually covered by a black light curtain, making it hard to see what's going on. Did something happen? Lu Yun exhaled softly and then left an order. There's a change ahead. It'll go first, and you all quickly follow. Then his body flashed and vanished, activating instant horizon and disappearing from the spot. Above Westward City in the high sky, a huge rune seed emanating an evil aura swallowed all vitality and blood essence. The runes on it became more deep and terrifying. In the void, an invisible force tore it apart, and a young man with a mysterious and eerie aura and an odd-looking face emerged. This strangely handsome youth was dressed in black, symbolizing mystery and strangeness. His eyes bore an indifferent gaze, as if looking down on all living beings. It was as if the lives and deaths of all beings were at his whim. This evil and beautiful youth was Han Feng. At this moment, the surrounding space was trembling continuously. The runes turned into a rolling black sea, enveloping the entire Westward City, as if it was performing the final harvest. Chapter 407, Abyss Prison, Full-Scale Outbreak, Two delicious souls, vibrant vitality. I only need to devour another 500,000, and I can return to the peak of the Rune Seed Realm. With a body shrouded in black light, dark hair fluttering in the wind, his deep black eyes revealed both intoxication and madness. In the following instant, the giant rune seed suddenly withdrew, the boundless black curtain abruptly contracting, and diamond-shaped black runes returned. The rune seed became even more powerful, and the power of the runes also more terrifying. Feeling the further enhanced rune seed, Han Feng wore a gentle smile like spring rain as he overlooked Westward City, which he had harvested to its limits. Westward City, with over 100,000 living souls, has strengthened his rune seed, solidifying it and making it evolve. Myself, one step closer to recovering my peak strength. If that old fellow from the fierce ghost sect was still alive, he would probably last for a dozen breaths under my divine ability. Han Feng shook his head slightly. Although he was sighing, his tone was very plain, without the slightest fluctuation in his voice, as if he had little emotion. He was a demon, an unrestrained demon. How could a mere mid-stage rune seed realm cultivator create much of an impact in his heart? It could be said that for Han Feng, it was already an honor to be provoked by someone like him. Han Feng withdrew the rune seed into his body and immediately threw a casual punch, with the power of the runes circulating and erupting. This punch had the power to shatter the heavens and break rivers, with a terrifying momentum as it struck down on Westward City below. Boom! The earth-shattering tremor, the dull and terrifying sound ensued, and numerous buildings in the vast city below began to collapse and then sink. All traces were erased. Although I have revived, my strength is still very weak. There are many powerful beings in this world. If I were to be discovered, it would surely cause many waves. Han Feng murmured to himself, and after confirming that all traces had been buried under his punch, he took a long breath. Looking at the dark red air flow surrounding the skies, he waved his sleeve and vanished all of the evil qi and resentful energy. Now it's all gone. With a smirk on his face, Han Feng, radiant as ever, intended to ride the wind and choose a new place to harvest. But in the next moment, his face drastically changed, his eyelids twitched, and even the vast power of the runes trembled. Boom! A blade light came chopping down from the distant sky above. This blade light, thousands of feet long, was directly aimed at Han Feng at its most powerful point. Within the terrifying power, there was a dark and stifling aura, capable of sweeping away mountains and rivers and shattering space. Feeling the unstoppable force of the blade light, the rune power around Han Feng instantly erupted to its peak, as if the world around him could not contain it. Which powerful being discovered me? At this moment, a trace of worry emerged in his heart. Although he had been powerful before, he was now only at the late stage of the rune seed realm. If he were to encounter an irresistible opponent, he might not be able to withstand it. However, he was still not an ordinary rune seed realm cultivator and would not be thrown off by unknown danger. Han Feng's eyes were indifferent as a beam of light burst forth, his eyes following the trail of the blade light. At that moment, he saw a figure, a young man dressed in black sturdy armor, his body enveloped by a red killing aura. That's Slaughter Conception, which seems to have reached the 7th rank. A martial artist at the peak of the Golden Body Realm who has raised his Slaughter Conception to the 7th rank. What a terrifying comprehension this young man has. However, this isn't enough to provoke me. As Han Feng completely figured out this powerful Lu Yin, his original apprehension vanished instantly, being replaced by a wave of greed. He could see at a glance that Lu Yin was a peerless genius. The surging vitality and blood within his flesh was enough to intoxicate and cause Han Feng to sink. Boom! He took a step forward, as though a towering mountain had risen from the ground, creating an imposing and grand atmosphere. Immediately after, countless diamond-shaped law runes radiated a deep black light around Han Feng, transforming into a vast black ocean, rolling forward. The runes were vast, the ocean boundless, covering the entire sky and earth. You shall become one with me. Han Feng's voice echoed like a decree, the surrounding void trembling slightly. Then he opened his right hand wide, and the powerful rune hand covering the sky and earth came directly towards the blade light. This blade light pierced through the 7th rank slaughter will, with an endless and powerful reinforcement from the pure yang strong origin. This blade light was thousands of feet long, tearing the sky apart, breaking the earth, with an earth-shattering momentum. But Han Feng's face remained indifferent, without much fluctuation, as he controlled the rune giant hand that towered like a mountain towards the blade light. He was a demon, a recently revived demon with terrifying divine abilities. How could he fear Lu Yin, a mere golden body realm martial artist? His palm was like a giant hand that supported the sky, traversing the air, containing everything within and barely clenched, intending to grip the blade light and crush it. Crack! The faint sound of shattering rang out, which immediately caused Han Feng's expression to pause. The blade light pierced through the sky, breaking everything in its path, including the deep and terrifying rune giant hand. How is this possible? Han Feng's face was shocked, his mind utterly disarrayed. A blade attack from a martial artist at the Golden Body Realm's peak managed to destroy his rune giant hand. He was a late stager in the rune seed realm, even if he had just revived and not fully assimilated everything. Chapter 408, Abyss Prison, Full-Scale Outbreak _3, but he was also in the later stage of the rune seed realm. The most important thing is that he is a devil, not an ordinary late-stage rune seed realm cultivator. Just give him some time, and even the peak of the rune seed realm can be effortlessly annihilated. Now, in a head-on confrontation, he found himself at a disadvantage, and his opponent was merely at the peak of the Golden Body Realm. In his memory, there seemed to be no Golden Body Realm cultivators this powerful. Feeling somewhat unclear, his bizarrely handsome face revealed a complex expression. At that moment, it seemed as if some memories surfaced in his mind. Human race's holy body. He didn't know why the phrase human race's holy body suddenly appeared in his mind. With such terrifying combat power, could this young man be the human race's holy body? However, he shook his head immediately. If it was really the human race's holy body, he would have already fallen with that one slash just now. Humph, youngster. Your strength is indeed impressive, but your biggest mistake is appearing before me. Sink. Sink for me. Han Feng let out a dull roar, his expression indifferent, yet strangely bizarre. What was even stranger was that rhombus-shaped black runes flew out, sealing off a patch of heaven and earth around them. Above Westward City, the void hundreds of miles was enveloped by a boundless black curtain. From the outside, it looked like a black hole that absorbed all light and darkness. This bizarre black hole could even capture people's hearts and minds. Where's the person? Lu Yin was taken aback as he stood in the void, suddenly losing sight of the evil-looking young man. Even if he is in the later stage of the rune seed realm, he shouldn't have disappeared from my sight in an instant. He must be nearby. Lu Yin stood quietly in the void without making any rash moves. Now that he had lost track of his opponent, the best approach was to stick to his current strategy. But he didn't idle either. His vast spiritual power poured out from the sea of consciousness, observing any movement around him. He believed that as long as his opponent was lurking nearby, he would not be able to resist making a move. Crackle! Suddenly, the entire space seemed like a mirror. A tiny crack appeared. Immediately after, crackling sounds kept coming, and more cracks appeared. Wherever Lu Yin's gaze landed, the area shattered like a broken mirror. As space shattered, everything began to fall and sink. Even Lu Yin couldn't stay afloat and began to fall as well. Noticing this, Lu Yin immediately realized something was amiss. No matter what, he was in the Golden Body Realm and should have been able to stay afloat in the air, let alone fall. He tried to look around. The wind was light and the clouds were calm, with no changes in sight. When he looked up at the sky, he saw an endless galaxy where faint starlight came from the deep space in the distance. So he tried to look down, but he couldn't see anything. Only darkness like an abyss could be seen. Sinking, everything was sinking. I'd like to see what tricks you can play. Lu Yin tightened his grip on the dragon scale saber, and the seventh rank slaughter conception, along with the vast Yuan High within him, erupted simultaneously. A torrential sword radiance gushed out and slashed downward. Beneath him was either an abyss or hell. He believed that as soon as this slash landed, everything would be exposed. The magnificent sword radiance spanned thousands of feet, tearing through everything and striking down. However, it seemed to slash into a vacuum, without stirring up any ripples, and continued to sink. Even Lu Yun's body kept sinking, and the speed became faster and faster. Seeing this, Lu Yun's brows furrowed slightly. Could this be an illusion? Then he concentrated and carefully observed. Without a doubt, he couldn't find any flaw, nor could he tell if this was an illusion. But he had a hunch in his heart that he absolutely couldn't stay in this space any longer, and he couldn't continue to sink. So the thunderbolt intent erupted, and the 3,000 thunder movement was unleashed to the extreme. He brought forth a terrifying purple thunder domain and shot upwards at high speed. With his 7th rank thunderbolt intent and the full force of the 3,000 thunder movement, his speed soared to the extreme in the blink of an eye, breaking through tens of thousands of feet into the sky. However, the deeper sky seemed endless, and no matter how high he flew, the galaxy remained impossibly distant. Moreover, as soon as he paused even for a moment, his body began to uncontrollably sink downward. He give up struggling. Fall into my abyss prison, and no matter what, you won't escape. The gloomy, cruel voice came from the depths of the void and echoed in all directions, deeply imprinting itself in his mind. Despite this, Lu Yun ignored it and continued to fly upward. Generally speaking, Whitley his current level and strength, 50,000 feet of deep space would already be his limit. Continuing higher would expose him to boundless tearing forces that could instantly shatter his gold body into dust. Now he had already surpassed this limit, but he didn't feel any abnormalities. As for this situation, Lu Yun had a faint guess in his heart. Either the space here had a problem, and he hadn't really flown 50,000 feet high, or he was still on the spot and hadn't moved at all. Despite realizing this, he did not stop. With his vast pure yang-strong origin, he had enough energy to last a long time. Half an hour, 2 hours. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed. There was no rising sun, and the stars did not disappear. But Lu Yun still felt the passage of time, which should be no less than a day. Chapter 409. Abyss Prison, full-scale outbreak 4. In his perception, he could clearly sense the passage of time, but not the changes in space. He ascended continuously upward, transforming into lightning, as if wanting to break through this world an invisible barrier. He give up struggling. Fall into my abyss prison. No matter what you do, you won't be able to escape. This voice kept ringing in his ears, getting closer and closer. Does this mean that I'm getting closer to the guy hidden in the dark? Thinking of this, Lu Yun seemed to see hope. Hope for breaking the seal. So he burst forth again, unleashing an unprecedented speed, and continued to climb upward. Almost there, almost there. Lu Yun screamed in his heart. Just then, from the endless abyss beneath him, numerous giant black hands suddenly stretched out, quickly grasping towards Lu Yun, as if to drag him into the infinite abyss. How could Lu Yun let them succeed? He swung his sword, and in a domineering and ultimate blade light, instantly shattered the eerie black hands. Then more and even more terrifying black hands extended, trying to capture Lu Yun. Seeing this, Lu Yun didn't panic, but instead sighed in relief. Being so eager to attack me only shows that my premonition isn't wrong. Lu Yun swung his sword again, shattering the giant black hands that were tailing him. Then he unleashed the 3,000 thunder movement to its limit, carrying terrifying lightning for one last strike. Boom! Crack! Space almost shattered, like a broken mirror, with cracks running through the air. As the endless aftermath spread, the dense black hands instantly disappeared, and everything returned to its original state. What? Lu Yun's eyes showed a faint surprise. He found that he hadn't moved an inch from his original position. Surrounding him were black rhombus runes, getting closer and closer to him and about to form a black prison. What a terrifying technique, but it's a pity that you've met me. Lu Yun held the dragon scale saber, and with a single strike, the unparalleled blade light shattered the approaching runes. Then the 3,000 thunder movement burst forth, and the violent lightning accompanied Lu Yun's trajectory, filling half of the sky in an instant. Die! Lu Yun's eyes were filled with a brilliant glint, and his aura became extremely cold, mixed with the raging thunderstorm. An overwhelming momentum surged, like mountains collapsing, all directed towards one direction. Watching this scene, Han Feng's originally devilishly handsome face contorted and boundless rage erupted. Damn, you actually destroyed my 3 runes. It'll make you suffer the pain of 1,000 souls devouring your body. With that, he shifted his body, suddenly dodging Lu Yun's attack, and appeared in the vast void. With a wave of his hand, a black banner emerged. This is a treasure I created using the souls of tens of thousands of martial artists and hundreds of thousands of humans. I will let you test its power. With a flick of his sleeve, the power of the runes flashed and shook the black banner. Immediately, chilling winds blew, and black whirlwinds appeared, turning into resentful, vicious ghosts, attacking Lu Yun. Humph! No matter how many demons and ghosts you have, they won't come close to me. Not to mention his extremely masculine pure yang strong origin. Even the lightning he used was the nemesis of these evil things. Purple lightning surged like an ocean, pouring down and causing those resentful souls to emit ghostly wails. Such harm to the heavens and earth shouldn't be left in this world. Lu Yun snorted coldly, and a wisp of white flame jumped from his fingertips, then instantly expanded, filling the sky and earth. The 7th rank white lotus flame had the power to destroy heaven and earth, and its purifying power was even more terrifying. Humph, it's really annoying that this guy has so many tricks. Seeing that his treasure not only failed to hinder Lu Yun, but was almost destroyed by him, Han Feng immediately took it back. His eyes flashed with a sharp light, and finally, Han Feng gave up on refining Lu Yun. Today, you destroyed my runes and injured my foundation. In the future, I will take your life. With that, he stirred up dark clouds in the sky and wanted to leave. But how could Lu Yun give him the chance? If you want to leave in front of me, it won't be that easy. Lu Yun waved his sleeve, and the golden edge sword fang transformed into 9 giant golden swords, attacking at an extreme speed. Then he took out the 100 refined Vajra ring, and its powerful suppressive power sealed the void, temporarily blocking Han Feng's retreat. 1 strike annihilation. Boom, 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 hiss. Not only did the 7th rank slaughter conception burst out, but even the 5 runes in his body were also used. Lu Yun unleashed his most powerful strike since he reached the peak of the golden body realm. The blade light containing domineering, destructive, and violent power suppressed the heavens and earth, tore apart the void, and caused a fierce storm. What a formidable opponent. It's a good thing I advanced to the later stage of the rune seed realm. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to handle this. Han Feng activated the runes, injecting all of them into the black banner, and fully stimulated the remaining resentful souls within, barely resisting Lu Yun's attack. However, the treasure he painstakingly refined had already been damaged. He actually blocked it. This devil does have some tricks. Lu Yun's body flashed like lightning, and countless thoughts surged through his mind. If 1 strike doesn't work, then 2 strikes, 3 strikes. With a flash in Lu Yun's eyes, he charged out. The blade light was vast and sharp with a clang, and it fell once again. Good Lord, it still hasn't been destroyed. This only aroused Lu Yun's competitive spirit even more. In an instant, the same strike fell again. Crack! It shattered with a loud bang, and Han Feng also received some feedback. His figure staggered, and he spurted out a mouthful of blood. Lu Yun's eyes were fixed on Han Feng. Now, let's see what tricks you have. Without waiting for a reply, Lu Yun once again used 1 strike annihilation in the same manner. Now, with the 9 golden swords transformed from the golden edge, sword fang, suppressing him, and the 100 refined Vajra ring, sealing the space, he could unleash his power to the fullest. Facing Lu Yun's fierce attack, Han Feng's expression changed slightly. I didn't expect to lose to a mere golden body realm in our battle today. As he spoke, a golden rune suddenly appeared in his hand. This rune was different from the law rune. It did not have any law aura on it, but was filled with a vast amount of spatial power. This was a spatial talisman extremely precious, and he would never use it unless it was absolutely necessary. But the current situation left him no room for hesitation. Young man, remember, my name is Han Feng. The humiliation of today will be repaid twofold in the future. Chapter 410. Mysterious, the seven-color stone, just before he crushed the spatial talisman, Han Feng took a deep look at Lu Yin, seemingly trying to engrave Lu Yin's figure and face into his mind. Crack! The spatial talisman shattered, and a powerful spatial force exploded. No good, he's trying to escape. As soon as Lu Yin reacted, he quickly accelerated his attack. The slash that could cut through the sky thunderously fell. Clang! In the end, it only cleaved through empty space. The overwhelming knife beam fell from the infinite deep space, leaving a deep trench between the endlessly long heaven and earth. He actually escaped? Staring at the empty space and the traces left by the spatial talisman, Lu Yin's eyes sparkled slightly. The Rune Seed Realm powerful warrior not only had more strength than anyone he had met before, but also numerous and endless methods. There was even a kind of divine ability that could cause consciousness loss, dragging enemies into an endless abyss. The mere thought of it was heart-pounding. Such a difficult enemy escaped, which made him a little uneasy. However, since the other party used the spatial talisman and fled to an unknown place, there was no point in giving chase. Lu Yin could only give up. They're all dead. Everyone is dead. A dozen teenagers climbed out from the cave, looking at the endless ruins, their faces filled with infinite sadness. Avenger! I must avenge myself on that devil. A determined teenager, his eyes filled with surging hatred, clenched his fists. Alt Cho, that devil is too powerful. We can never get our revenge in this life. Let it go. Another extremely distressed teenager sighed lightly, speaking to the hatred-filled teenager. They were in class when disaster struck. They heard a cruel and gloomy voice, the voice of the devil. Their teacher then told them to stay in the classroom and left. Then darkness descended. They didn't know why they had escaped this calamity, but it didn't affect the surging hatred in their hearts. So, there are some lucky survivors. Lu Yin stood high in the sky, watching the dozen or so teenagers crawling out of the ruins in a miserable state, bodies full of scars. With a light flick of his fingers, a thread of pure yang aura origin turned into a dozen strands and infused into the bodies of these teenagers. The pure yang aura origin, which possessed the wonder of healing scars, was the only thing Lu Yin could do. The fact that you could survive is both a blessing and a misfortune. Lu Yun sighed softly. The population of Westward City, the living beings and souls were all plundered by the devil. Even the entire city had become ruins. This method of his was too cruel and ruthless. Narrowing his eyes, a flash of light flickered through Lu Yun's eyes. Han Feng, eh? I hope you won't meet me next time. A hint of killing intent flashed by. A will to kill arose. A third was for the lost souls of the hundreds of thousands of people in Westward City, and 2/3 were for the grudge he had with the other party. Suddenly, Lu Yun's eyes trembled slightly. He detected an endless aura emanating from the ruins where the teenagers were. Something is strange here. The survival of these dozen or so teenagers seems related to the abnormality here. Thinking of this, Lu Yun manifested his physical form from the void and landed directly on the ruins. An immortal! Seeing Lu Yun, who was bathed in golden light, suddenly appearing, the group of teenagers were startled and exclaimed in astonishment. The teenager called Cho trembled slightly. Then he knelt down and began to kowtow to Lu Yun. Immortal, please take me as your disciple. The others also seemed to have the same idea. After this disaster, their parents and families were no longer there, and they were uncertain about the future. If they could join the immortal with vast divine abilities, it would be even better. Lu Yun gently shook his head. First, I'm not an immortal, and second, I don't take in disciples. Hearing this, the teenagers felt a hint of disappointment. Only Ah Cho didn't give up and continued to kowtow to Lu Yun. Soon his forehead was cracked, and his face was stained with blood, making him look more determined. Seeing this, Lu Yun's face didn't change. His will wouldn't be easily swayed by a teenager. However, he wasn't heartless. With a wave of his sleeve, an invisible force gently lifted Alt Cho up. Although I don't take in disciples, I will give you some chances to step into the martial arts. In the future, whatever fortunes you encounter, it all depends on you. As soon as he finished speaking, a dozen balls of light flew out, falling in front of each of the teenagers. These were the foundational martial arts that Lu Yun had obtained over the years. They were useless to him, but giving them to these unfortunate teenagers would resolve his guilt. Thank you, Immortal. Once they recognized the martial arts in their hands, these teenagers were excited and took a long time to react. They all knelt down and thanked Lu Yun. Even the lowest level martial arts were only possessed by powerful families in the city. These commoners had no chance of obtaining them. The only chance to obtain martial arts was to join a sect. However, even sects like the Fierce Ghost Sect had extremely high requirements for the qualities of their disciples, and ordinary people had no chance at all. Lu Yun waved his sleeve and lifted everyone up into the air. This incredible ability made the teenagers even more convinced that the person before them was an immortal. Lu Yun didn't know what these teenagers were thinking. He was focused on the ruins, narrowing his eyes to scrutinize this place that made him feel strange. Before long, he seemed to have perceived something. He leapt into the air, drew out the dragon scale saber, and slashed down at the ruins below. Chapter 411. Mystical, Colorful Stone 2 Rumble. The ruins were cleaved open by a powerful blade light. Spreading out to both sides, a massive crack appeared. Lu Yun squinted his eyes, the gold light flickering. Suddenly, his eyes twitched hundreds of feet below the crack. A 5-color stone stood suspended in the air, emitting a mysterious and infinite aura. This aura was no different from what Lu Yun had sensed before. Moreover, when Lu Yun's spiritual power covered it, it was silently devoured. However, Lu Yun could feel that the mysterious 5-color stone contained endless vitality, containing infinite power, even capable of devouring pure Yang's strong origin. It seemed there was a cryptic and incredible power brewing within the 5-color stone. Lu Yun's gaze was filled with a strange and excited color. A step forward, and he appeared at the center of the crack. Here, the blade energy still lingered, wildly howling, yet there was no effect on Lu Yun. Lu Yun closely observed this 5-color stone. What treasure exactly is this stone? Spiritual power is useless. Pure Yang's strong origin is also useless. Lu Yun had to squint at the stone that flickered with 5-color light. Red, yellow, blue, silver, gold. 5 colors reflected each other. The dim sky, the rampant blade energy, under the illumination of the 5-color divine light, all seemed to fall into a brief stagnation. Following that, the blade energy slowly dissipated, not being purified, but rather seemed to be crushed into dust by a more powerful force. So mysterious. Lu Yun's face alternated between cloudy and clear, with a moment of hesitation. The blade energy he had left behind was so powerful that even a martial artist of the origin fluid realm would have been easily cut open if they approached. Such powerful blade energy was pulverized as soon as it approached the 5-color stone, indicating that the power contained within this stone was terrifying. Realizing this, Lu Yun did not recklessly approach. Instead, he kept his distance and continued observing. This 5-color stone, the surface is very smooth, and the edges are very neat, as if made up of many facets. Lu Yun frowned. As far as he knew, if a stone is naturally occurring, its shape is generally irregular. Yet, this 5-color stone not only contains mystery, its form is also very uniform and neat, as if it had been artificially polished. For a while, Lu Yun had no new findings about the stone, so he slowly approached it. Lu Yun still retained a bit of caution. After all, facing such a mysterious 5-color stone, he was not very certain. Once his decision was made, Lu Yun took a step, came to the 5-color stone, his palm wrapped in the golden pure yang strong origin, slowly grabbing at it. Without surprise, pure yang strong origin was quickly devoured, and Lu Yun's palm, without any protection, touched the 5-color stone. The 5-color stone trembled slightly. Lu Yun only felt his palm violently tremble and was involuntarily bounced back. This time, Lu Yun was really shocked. Even though he did not use full strength, he had used at least tens of thousands of pounds of force, but still it did not have any effect. This 5-color stone, it can not only absorb spiritual power and pure yang strong origin. Even tens of thousands of pounds of force bounces right off it. Its mystery might exceed my imagination. So, Lu Yun increased the strength used. 100,000 pounds, still bounced back by the 5-color stone. 1 million pounds, 10 million pounds, 100 million pounds. The 5-color stone slightly trembled, but still bounced Lu Yun back. An entire 100 million pounds of force. It did not affect this 5-color stone. Can it be? I really can't do anything with this 5-color stone. Stimulated, Lu Yun directly exerted all his power, bolstering his hands, and grabbed at the stubborn 5-color divine stone. With all his immense strength, his hands fell on the 5-color stone. A cool feeling rushed up, reaching his heart. Then, Lu Yun felt an incomparable force brewing inside the 5-color stone, ready to explode. Almost 1 billion pounds of force, the power of 1,000 dragons. Lu Yun didn't believe he couldn't handle this 5-color stone, so he didn't bother. Rumble! The 5-color stone emitted a dazzling light. A series of sharp aura exploded, like a blade madly rampaging. Lu Yun's hands were the first to bear the brunt, and were immediately marked with a deep trace. His body was protected by the armor and was not injured. Following that, a strong rebound force erupted from the 5-color stone, hitting Lu Yun heavily, embedding him directly into the stone wall of the crack. At the same time, the blood that Lu Yun left behind slowly entered the 5-color stone, making the red, yellow, blue, silver, and gold 5-color light it emitted more intense. Woo, woo, woo. A series of invisible ripples spread out in all directions, melting everything in the surrounding area after sweeping over it with the 5-color stone at the center, forming a complete vacuum zone. In an instant, everything within 100 feet disappeared, forming an absolute vacuum zone. Lu Yun stood in the vacuum at the bottom of the earth, devoid of any air or power. Even the rules floating between heaven and earth no longer existed. The only existing things were the stunned Lu Yun and the 5-color stone emitting 5-color divine light. Hiss! Such terrifying power. Even though he guessed that the 5-color stone contained extraordinary power, when he truly saw its explosion, Lu Yun still felt a wave of horror. Able to shatter everything in an instant to form a complete vacuum zone. Although this power did not threaten Lu Yun's life, its explosive force made Lu Yun amazed. Chapter 412, Mysterious 7-Color Stone _3 Lu Yun stepped forward, approaching the 5-colored stone again, trying to subdue it once more. He exerted all his strength, tightly grasping the 5-color stone with both hands. The intangible waves were even stronger, and the 5-color stone trembled violently. As the last drop of golden blood completely submerged into the stone, its radiance surged, piercing the tens of thousands of feet high sky. Even from 100 miles away, one could see the dazzling, true, multicolored glow. Whoosh! Sharp spurts of energy blades burst out, once again slicing terrifying scars on Lu Yun's hands. Enduring the immense countershock forces and the severe pain from his hands, Lu Yun held onto the 5-color stone. This time, he was going to hold onto it no matter what. Lu Yun focused all his mental energy on channeling his power and didn't notice that the five-color stone was continuously absorbing the golden blood flowing from his hands. Time slowly passed. Whoosh! The five-color light emitted by the five-color stone began to display a new color: black. Red, yellow, blue, silver, gold, and the newly added black. The colors shimmered and circulated nonstop. The five-color stone has gained a new color, transforming into a six-color stone, and it's actively devouring my blood. Lu Yun became wide-eyed and tongue-tied, and he also realized that his blood was uncontrollably flowing out at a rapid pace. Moreover, after the five-color stone transformed into a six-color stone, the countershock force Lu Yun experienced was weakening. Could it be that when it absorbed my blood, it reduced its resistance towards me? This notion arose within Lu Yun's mind, and he also saw hope in subduing this extraordinary stone. Golden blood streamed from the wounds on his hands, flowing into the six-color stone. The light radiating from it became increasingly dazzling. After almost half a quarter of an hour, the light emitted by the six-color stone gained an additional color, white with a whoosh. The 7 different colors, red, yellow, blue, silver, gold, black, and white, interwove and merged together. Each ray of light contained the power to melt all things and decompose everything. After absorbing my blood, it seems like I can manipulate this stone. With just a thought from Lu Yun, the 7-colored light instantly dimmed and all its power dissipated. Lu Yun examined and toyed with the stone. Without emitting the 7-colored light, it looked like an ordinary, beautiful stone without any extraordinary features. When the 7-colored light shone, it possessed immense power. This thing is like a treasure, but not entirely. Lu Yun immediately put it into the Sumi ring, planning to find an opportunity later to research it thoroughly. Upon entering the Sumi ring's space, the ring, which had a capacity of 100 cubic units, cracked and shattered, unable to withstand the 7-color stone. This time, Lu Yun encountered a problem. Unable to store the 7-color stone in the Sumi ring, he couldn't possibly keep holding it in his hand all the time, could he? As he struggled with the decision, suddenly a thought emerged in his mind. If only this 7-color stone could shrink! The 7-color stone emitted a burst of light the moment Lu Yun's words ended, and then it instantly shrank to the size of a thumb. Huh. Lu Yun's face displayed surprise. It can hear me. Change size freely. Could it be that this 7-color stone is a spirit artifact? A spirit artifact is a more powerful existence than a treasure artifact, possessing terrifying power. Most importantly, spirit artifacts have spirits. Even the weakest spirit artifact has the strength of the golden Korming realm. After pondering for a while, Lu Yun shook his head. As if it were a real spirit artifact, its weapon spirit would have come out by now. However, given the immense power it contains and the incredibly strong force it emits, it could be used as a weapon. In a battle, it might achieve unexpected results. If used properly, it could even kill a martial artist at the peak of the Golden Body Realm. Golden Body Realm, standing at the peak, is far above the late stage. 7 or 8 late-stage Golden Body Realm fighters couldn't necessarily handle a peak stage fighter together. After shrinking to the size of a thumb, Lu Yun placed the 7-color stone on his waist. Without emanating the 7-colored light, it appeared to be an ordinary stone. Apart from being beautiful, it was nothing special, and it naturally wouldn't absorb any more aura origins. With the pure Yang Strong origin attached, Lu Yun wasn't worried about it falling away. Soaring into the sky, Lu Yun appeared on the surface. At this very moment, the number 18 warship appeared above Westward City. Lu Yun immediately gathered up these still-shocked youths and appeared on the warship. "General, what happened here?" Yi Xian and the others, seeing the Westward City that had become a pile of ruins, asked in confusion. Of course, deep in their hearts, they suspected that everything that had happened here might be related to Lu Yun. Before all this, they'd felt two powerful auras from afar. As a result, they subconsciously believed that the destruction of Westward City was caused by the battle between Lu Yun and another powerful warrior. An unparalleled demon appeared here, and more than 10,000 people in Westward City were ruthlessly slaughtered. Only these teenagers managed to escape by luck. Lu Yun indifferently explained, not wanting to carry the stigma of killing indiscriminately. The warship continued its journey, and while passing a town, Lu Yun ordered the placement of the teenagers brought from Westward City. Then, they headed towards the fierce, ghost sect's mountain gate. Just like Westward City, the entire fierce ghost sect was in utter ruins. Numerous mountain peaks were destroyed by powerful forces. The palaces and towers had collapsed into rubble. Everything had been buried, and one could barely discern that this place once housed a sect. If I'm not mistaken, the fall of the fierce ghost sect is likely related to the demon I encountered before. Standing above the ruins of the fierce ghost sect, Lu Yun spoke with his hands on his back. Upon hearing these words, Yi Xian and the others, the black-rank demon extermination generals, fell silent. The fierce ghost sect, a powerful sect that had 2 rune seed realm powerhouses and tens of thousands of disciples. Such a formidable force had been annihilated. How powerful could this demon be? Rest and recuperate here for a day while investigating if any remnants of the fierce ghost sect have survived. Even though Lu Yun knew that there were likely no survivors left by the enemy's methods, he still ordered the demon extermination guards to sweep through the area. "General, let me take care of this matter." Ching Ho, the commander, volunteered. Since they'd come all this way, they couldn't go back empty-handed. Naturally, Lu Yun happily agreed. Chapter 413. Strength advances. 10,000 demon sect. The fierce ghost sect was destroyed overnight, with most traces obliterated and the valuable treasures within the sect looted. The only thing that remained relatively intact was the book collection pavilion, which housed various cultivation techniques. The Demon Suppression Army had the intention of collecting the variety of martial arts and cultivation techniques in addition to eradicating unstable elements of the human race when exterminating the 100 sects. Although no other resources were seized this time, the harvest could still be considered fruitful. Lu Yun also checked the fierce ghost sect's cultivation techniques. There are only 2 that could be practiced to reach the rune seed realm: the 10,000 Ghost Scripture and the Earth Dark Mind Scripture. Both of these techniques were incompatible with the pure Yang martial arts canon, so Lu Yun didn't collect them. Instead, he ordered Ching Ho to place them in the treasure hall of the 18th battleship. In addition, after a day of recuperation, Lu Yun consumed another 20,000 energy points to increase the completion level of the Golden Body episode to 10%. Adding another 5 law runes. With the initial 5 law runes, there were now 10 in total. As the number of law runes increased, the total amount of pure Yang strong origin decreased. Law runes were formed by condensing one's physical body and pure Yang strong origin into runes. After leveraging the laws, they would fuse with each other and form the powerful diamond-shaped law runes. The power contained within the law runes could be referred to as divine power, which was far superior to true origin. Once one entered the rune seed realm, the more runes that were engraved on the rune, the more terrifying the divine power would be. Of course, that was a matter for the future. Standing on the battleship and watching the ruined mountains getting farther away, Lu Yun felt a twinge of regret. He had hoped that by participating in the extermination war, he would be able to acquire a considerable fortune, or even a priceless treasure like the one found in Wei Zongqing. However, someone had been a step ahead of him. At a mountain range millions of miles away from the fierce ghost sect, a young man in a black robe sat cross-legged, surrounded by black runes. He had an evil but handsome face. This person was Han Feng, who had escaped from Lu Yun's hands using a spatial talisman a few days prior. At this moment, 3 powers were intertwining within him: the power of extreme yang, the power of destruction, and the power of evil. His eyes were tightly closed, and his body trembled from time to time, as if he were suffering from pain. An hour later, unable to bear the pain any longer, he took out a bottle and poured out a drop of blood containing the ultimate evil aura. After swallowing it, the evil power began to grow stronger, eventually suppressing the other two forces. As time went on, the powers of extreme yang and destruction gradually subsided. The surrounding environment was no longer as violent as before, but was now shrouded in a strange silence. Another hour passed, and the young man in the black robe finally opened his eyes slowly. Not only did he severely injure me, but he also forced me to waste a spatial talisman and a drop of extreme Yin blood. "I swear to take revenge," he said, now in a terrible mood. He had initially planned to absorb the thousands of martial artists from the Fierce Ghost sect and the tens of thousands of people from Westward City to directly reach the peak of the Rune Seed realm. However, against all odds, he had come across a martial artist at the Golden Body realm. A measly Golden Body realm martial artist, no matter how talented, should not have been a threat to him. But after fighting for a while, this Golden Body realm martial artist had unleashed a power even greater than his own. Neither his Abyss Prison Divine ability nor his Yin Spirit Banner could trap the opponent. As a result, he wanted to retreat right away. However, the adversary persisted and not only injured him severely, but also forced him to waste a spatial talisman to escape. Surely he must avenge this hatred, or else it would undermine his dignity as a demon venerable. It was at this moment that he sensed a faint power emerging from his wounded flesh and then rapidly growing stronger, transforming into a surge of vitality that soon repaired his broken body. Eventually, even his entire aura was enhanced, instantly reaching the peak of the late-stage Rune Seed realm. Sensing this powerful aura, the young man in the black robe revealed a sinister smile in his dark eyes. "I didn't expect that being injured would actually help me overcome the last barriers between my body and soul, allowing them to fully fuse as one. In that case, I should thank that kid. However, can you withstand my gratitude?" He could sense that after the complete integration of his soul and body, his strength had increased even further. If they fought again, he definitely wouldn't be the one trying to flee in despair. "I don't know which city this is, but my current objective is still to recover my strength. Otherwise, if I encounter even stronger martial artists, I still won't be able to cope." With that, Han Feng flew out of the mountain range in search of another human city. On a vast plain, a city stood tall with its high walls engraved with 3 fluttering characters. South Valley City. About 3 times the size of Westward City, South Valley City bustled with noise, and lights filled the streets, creating a lively scene. Suddenly, a black light appeared in the sky above the city and hid itself within the high clouds. This city has more than 500,000 people and should have quite a few martial artists. If I can completely devour them all, even if it doesn't help me recover to the Golden Core realm, it should be more than enough to reach the peak of the Rune Seed realm, said Han Feng, greed flickering in his eyes as he gazed at the bustling city below. However, having learned from his previous mistake, he was now much more cautious and didn't make a move right away. Chapter 414. Strength advances, 10,000 Demon Sect _2 with that, he concealed his evil aura, and his black robe transformed into a white one. A folding fan suddenly appeared in his hand. Before long, a stunningly handsome young man clad in white entered South Valley City and strolled through the streets. This young man in white was Han Feng. After wandering about, he discovered that the strongest aura in the city only belonged to someone in the early stage Rune Seed realm. To ordinary people, the early stage Rune Seed realm was an unattainable existence. But for him, it was nothing. He could annihilate it with a flip of his hand. However, just to be cautious, he decided not to make a move and entered a restaurant instead. This restaurant was quite luxurious, and all kinds of martial artists patronized it. The weakest among them were in the Meridian Passage realm, with occasional appearances from those in the Transforming Origin realm and even the Origin Fluid realm. Han Feng sat alone by the window, drinking wine. His white attire and handsome face attracted many beautiful young women who tried to strike up a conversation with him. Of course, the young man in white didn't refuse any of them. Through their conversations, he confirmed that there were no gold body realm demonic creatures in South Valley City. Once bitten by a snake, Han Feng was still worried about encountering the same situation as last time. To be honest, even though his soul and body had now completely fused together, and his strength had progressed even further, he still felt a sense of fear towards Lu Yin. If he were to encounter another demonic being like Lu Yin, he wouldn't have another spatial talisman to use. After conducting his own thorough investigation and interrogating more than 10 people, he finally relaxed, and his eyes gradually grew sinister. Why do I suddenly feel a little cold? The beautiful girl seated across from him couldn't help shivering and murmured her confusion. Cold! A frosty, emotionless voice echoed in her ears. Immediately after, she saw a scene she would never forget in her life. The elegant and exceptionally handsome white-clothed young man before her suddenly transformed. His appearance remained striking, but now exuded an extremely sinister and terrifying aura that sent chills down one's spine. The many martial artists in the restaurant also sensed the change, and a strong unease began to take hold in their hearts. As martial artists, their intuition was generally sharp, and their awareness of crises far exceeded ordinary people's imaginations. Subconsciously, they wanted to leave the restaurant to dispel the unease brewing within them, but they found that their bodies couldn't move, as if a tremendous force had bound them. What's going on? I can't move. A middle-aged man wearing brocade clothes cried out in panic. He was an origin fluid realm martial artist, the strongest in the restaurant. Even within the entirety of South Valley City, he was among the top few. Now, however, he found himself unable to move, which greatly unsettled him. He, all of you shall become one with me. Han Feng's white clothes gradually turned black, becoming a pitch-black robe again. The power of the runes spread out, forming a black curtain that engulfed the entire restaurant. All the martial artists within the restaurant had their faces frozen in terror as their bodies suddenly transformed into specks of light, dissipating into thin air. In no time, the tables in the restaurant were still littered with food and drinks, but there were no customers to be seen. Then the black curtain began to spread in all directions with the restaurant at its core. No one, whether an ordinary citizen or an origin fluid realm martial artist, could escape from the advancing black curtain. Not even their bones remained. With his soul and body now completely fused and being a step closer to the peak of the rune realm, his control over divine abilities had improved even more. In the great hall of the city, Lord's mansion, a robust man sat drinking alone. Upon hearing the clamor outside, his brow furrowed. Ever since he had been entrusted by the sect to oversee the city, few people dared to make a racket and create disturbances outside. He angrily gulped down a large mouthful of wine, his face contorted with irritation. Then he got up and walked towards the door. "If you don't want to die, keep quiet for me." A thunderous roar resounded throughout the entire city, Lord's mansion, and even echoed across a 10-mile radius. However, this had no effect. The noise outside still persisted. Is someone daring to challenge my authority? With that, he flew into the sky above the city lord's mansion, wanting to see who would dare to cause trouble. As he arrived in the air, he saw a shocking scene. Dark shadows intertwined, like a giant net covering more than half of South Valley City, and at a very fast speed, spreading towards the city, Lord's mansion. Within those dark shadows, be it the ordinary people bustling on the streets, or the martial artists in taverns and tea-houses, all of them trembled and turned into spots of light, disappearing. Only Golden Body Realm martial artists were able to survive, bursting out at their fastest speed, approaching the city, Lord's mansion. However, giant black hands extended out from the dark shadows, grabbing towards these fleeing Golden Body Realm martial artists. Once caught by the black hands, they would become trapped, as if held in place by some force, unable to move. Then all of their vitality and blood essence would be absorbed, and in the end, they would similarly turn into spots of light and disappear. Elder Chin, help. Those golden body realm martial artists who hadn't been caught by the Black Hands yet cried out upon seeing the burly man. The burly man was the city lord of South Valley City, and also one of the elders of the profound darkness sect named Chen Jingtang. He hesitated for just a moment before turning to flee. Witnessing the strange Black Hands, he couldn't muster up any resistance at all. He knew his own strength. Although he could instantly kill a golden body realm martial artist, he couldn't make one's corpse completely disappear in just a few breaths' time. The flesh of a golden body realm martial artist was comparable to mysterious instruments. It wasn't difficult to destroy them, but to completely erase them, he couldn't do it. One rune seed realm is equivalent to 10 golden body realms. There's no way I'd let you escape. Wearing a black robe with a distorted face, Han Feng appeared out of nowhere above Qin Jingtang, blocking his path. Who are you, daring to cause trouble in my profound darkness sect's territory? Aren't you afraid that my sect's experts will kill you? Seeing this, Qin Jingtang mustered up his courage and rebuked. Profound darkness sect, so am still within the territory of the profound darkness sect. That makes things even better. Han Feng said something that made no sense, then directly used his divine ability, Abyss Prison. Under this divine ability, even a formidable rune seed realm martial artist had no power to resist. He stood there stupefied in the air as Black Hands wrapped around him. Inside the profound darkness sect's main hall, the sect leader of the profound darkness sect sat there, and other rune seed realm experts, as well as golden core realm martial artists were present, evidently discussing an important matter. At this time, the celestial master from Dragon Tiger Mountain arrived at the main hall. Upon seeing Zhang Danyang, the gloomy expression on the profound darkness sect leader's face finally eased a bit. Celestial Master Zhang is here. What's the matter? Are you preparing for a full-scale battle with the Demon Suppression Army? Observing the solemn atmosphere in the main hall and the gloomy face of the profound darkness sect leader, the Celestial Master from Dragon Tiger Mountain's expression was rather calm. He was usually invited to participate in the profound darkness sect's meetings for matters related to the Demon Suppression Army. So, he had already prepared himself before coming. The profound darkness sect leader shook his head slightly. 2 days ago, several 100,000 people in South Valley City suddenly disappeared, including one of our rune seed realm elders and a dozen stewards. There are less than 10 million people in our sect's territory. Losing hundreds of thousands of people at once is undoubtedly a huge loss to our sect. At this point, he paused for a moment. Moreover, to make hundreds of thousands of people, including a rune seed realm martial artist, disappear without a trace, this is definitely not something an ordinary person can do. I suspect that a Golden Core Realm True Master is behind this. Is the Demon Suppression Army responsible for this? It should not be. Knowing the Demon Suppression Army, they wouldn't act like this, and it's impossible for them to bypass us and go straight to South Valley City. Could it be the 10,000 Demons sect? With narrowed eyes, the Celestial Master from Dragon Tiger Mountain, Zhang Danyang, pointed out that the profound darkness domain was adjacent to the 10,000 demon domain. Profound darkness domain was ruled by the profound darkness sect, while the 10,000 demon domain was ruled by the 10,000 demon sect. The two sides had a lot of conflicts and skirmishes were common. Now that the profound darkness sect was entangled with the Demon Suppression Army, it would be normal for the 10,000 demons sect to take advantage of the situation. Chapter 415. Unlucky Han Feng, advancing Lu Yin. Is this South Valley City? Hovering above South Valley City, Zhang Danyang looked at the deserted city with some amazement in his eyes. There were no traces of fighting and no other unusual signs. The entire South Valley City, with its hundreds of thousands of residents, had vanished into thin air, which was truly bizarre. With a flash of his figure, he appeared on the street, looking at the neatly arranged goods in the shops on both sides of the street. Afterward, he went to the city lord's mansion. As the stronghold of the strongest force in South Valley City, the city lord's mansion was also empty, with no signs of any battle having taken place. When the Profound Darkness sect leader had requested him to investigate the matter, he had mentioned that there was an early rune seed realm cultivator and several dozen gold body realm martial artists stationed here. Even if there were invaders, there should be some traces left behind. But now, not only was there not a single living person in the huge South Valley City, but there was also not a single creature in sight. Zhang Danyang knew that even if he acted personally, he couldn't erase the traces so cleanly. Celestial Master Zhang, have you found anything yet? Another Golden Core Realm True Master appeared, who was the great elder of the Profound Darkness sect, Chang Fei, who accompanied Zhang Danyang to investigate the cause. Zhang Danyang shook his head slightly. The other party was very cautious and didn't leave any traces. It's a bit different from the 10,000 demons sect's way of doing things. Hearing this, Chang Fei furrowed his brows. If it's not the 10,000 demons sect, then which power would have the guts and strength to do this? Let's investigate further. If we still can't find any traces, we'll go to the 10,000 demons sect for information. All right. Chang Fei nodded. The reason for Zhang Danyang's involvement was to negotiate with the 10,000 demons sect. Normally, if such an incident occurred, the Profound Darkness sect wouldn't hesitate to go to war with the 10,000 demons sect. However, at this time, the Profound Darkness sect was fully engaged in battling the Demon Suppression Army. If the 10,000 demons sect intervened, the Profound Darkness sect would be caught in a pincer attack. Right now, dealing with the Demon Suppression Army was the main priority, so it was worth having the Dragon Tiger Mountain Celestial Master mediate. Honestly speaking, Chang Fei and the entire Profound Darkness sect believed that the incident was related to the 10,000 demon sect. Elder Chang, which city is nearest to South Valley City? Chang Fei pondered for a moment before saying, Celestial Master Zhang, please follow me. Immediately, the two broke the air and disappeared above South Valley City. I've reached the peak of the Rune Seed Realm. Han Feng spoke indifferently, seemingly satisfied with his current progress. To break through from the peak of the Rune Seed Realm to the Golden Core Realm, one needed to use the Rune Seed as the core, rely on the laws as the carrier, and refine the Golden Core. At this moment, Han Feng was only a hair's breadth away from the limit of the Rune Seed Realm. According to his estimates, he would be able to advance as long as he had 200,000 souls. By then, as long as he stabilized his cultivation slightly and forcibly plundered 1 million more souls, he could return to the Golden Core Realm in one step. These souls could be any intelligent beings, whether they were demon beasts, sea clan, or human race. Of course, the human race was the weakest and most suitable target for him to attack. I'm getting closer and closer to the Golden Core Realm. When the time comes, I'll find that little kid and make him my nourishment. I am a demon, the supreme demon. You will all merge with me obediently. Suddenly, such a brazen voice resounded above Ridjin City, echoing in everyone's ears. Which wretch dares to act recklessly in my territory? You're courting death. A cold and domineering voice sounded, and then a powerful Rune Seed Realm cultivator flew out from the city, Lord's Mansion in Ridjin City. Boom! A surge of rune power suddenly rippled out and transformed into a giant palm that grabbed at Han Feng. Whoosh! Just as the giant palm was about to fall, Han Feng disappeared from his original position as if he had never been there. The Rune Seed Realm cultivator was slightly taken aback, and after searching around, he found no traces of anyone. Did he escape? Are you looking for me? Suddenly, A demonic voice came from behind the Rune Seed Realm powerhouse, immediately sending chills down his spine. He slowly turned around and saw Han Feng with a mocking smile on his face. Immediately after, the focus in his pupils gradually enlarged, and his body fell into a state of stagnation. Let us start with you. Very soon, this Rune Seed Realm powerhouse was engulfed by darkness in the City Lord's mansion on the martial arts training ground. Elder Lin, a gold body realm martial artist's face was filled with terror as his body trembled uncontrollably. He couldn't believe his eyes. Elder Lin, as strong as he was, didn't last a single round in the hands of the black-robed powerhouse before being completely subdued. What terrified him the most was Elder Lin, an early-stage Rune Seed Realm cultivator, gradually disappearing. Witnessing all this, he felt as if he had fallen into an abyss of icy darkness, with boundless fear and despair growing and spreading deep inside his soul. What kind of power is that? Brother Huang, what's wrong? Another gold body realm martial artist pushed him lightly and asked with confusion. Alt! After waking up, he looked at the sky again, but there were no traces left, only a clear blue sky. However, he was sure that what he saw earlier wasn't false, so he anxiously said, Run! Escape Ridjin City immediately and get as far away as possible. Without waiting for a response from the other, he fled towards the City Lord's Mansion's exit. Fearing that he would attract the attention of the other party, he didn't dare to fly, but instead he merged into the stream of people on the streets and hurried towards the city's exit. Truly inexplicable, the gold body realm martial artist murmured before disregarding the incident and carrying on with his own tasks. Chapter 416 Unlucky Han Feng. Advancing Lu Yin _2. It's a pity that there are so few martial artists in the Rune Seed realm. Otherwise, with just a dozen or so, I could reach the limit of the Rune Seed realm. Han Feng stood emotionlessly in the sky above Ridjin City, unaffected by the endless gales. Next, it's time to enjoy a good feast. Open. Curtain of 10,000 transformations. Bizarre rune seeds emerged from his body, and a series of black diamond-shaped runes burst out, turning into a vast black flood, quickly engulfing the entire Ridjin City. After advancing to the peak of the Rune Seed realm, his divine ability had greatly increased, and it was not a problem to cover Ridjin City. Zhang Danyang and Chang Fei were rushing to Ridjin City at full speed when they suddenly felt a powerful fluctuation from ahead. The two exchanged a silent glance. Celestial Master Zhang, you were right. The other party has indeed struck again. Let me see what kind of person the culprit is. Zhang Danyang snorted coldly and suddenly accelerated. The speed of a peak golden core realm expert when they went all out was astonishing. In just a dozen breaths, they arrived thousands of miles away in the sky above Ridjin City. Haha, comfortable, it's just so comfortable. Han Feng revealed a pleased smile, very satisfied with his harvest. The Ridjin City below, with a population of over 200,000, had now become an empty city, and his strength had already reached the limit of the Rune Seed realm, only one step away from condensing the golden core. As long as I recultivate the golden core, even a true master of the golden core realm would have to obediently become nourishment under my abyss prison and curtain of 10,000 transformations. Han Feng put away the rune seeds, waved his sleeve, and a black soul flag appeared, collecting the remaining resentful souls of Ridjin City. There's no trace left now. Han Feng nodded in satisfaction, preparing to leave and find the next city. But in the next instant, his face changed dramatically, his heart raced, and even the rune seeds at their limits trembled violently. Boom! A giant hand descended from the distant sky. The power of this giant hand seemed to have surpassed what the surrounding space could bear, as various spatial ripples emerged and layers broke apart. This should be at least a peak golden core realm strength. How did I suddenly catch the attention of such a strong opponent? In his prime, he was a celestial human expert, so he naturally knew the means of a peak golden core realm expert, who could not only move mountains but could also seal the void. At this point, he didn't even have a chance to use the spatial talisman. You can't run, so just give up resisting obediently. I promise not to kill you. Although Zhang Danyang arrived a bit late, he still saw what the other party did to swallow martial artists and ordinary humans. They were instantly devoured, with no ability to resist. Such a method appeared in the hands of a rune seed realm expert, which naturally made him both surprised and curious. I must have been seen by the other party when I performed my divine ability, so I absolutely cannot fall into their hands. Han Feng had only this thought in his heart. His divine ability would be greatly appealing even to heavenly human realm experts, let alone golden core realm experts. However, it wouldn't be easy to escape from the hands of a peak true master of the golden core realm. It seems I only have one way out. Thinking of this, Han Feng's eyes revealed a hint of ruthlessness and determination. Just as the giant hand was about to fall, Han Feng suddenly exploded his rune seeds, unleashing a terrifying power. Boom! Immeasurable shockwaves and earth-shaking roars erupted. The mountains below that spanned tens of thousands of miles collapsed, and the continuous mountain ranges were completely overturned into flat land within a few breaths. On the other hand, the plains were violently upheaved, turning into rolling hills. This was the power resulting from a peak rune seed realm expert self-explosion. So stubborn, even willing to shatter their own body and soul to avoid falling into my hands? Zhang Danyang stood somewhat frustrated in midair, watching the scene before him and letting out a sigh. Whoosh! A flicker of light, and Chang Fei caught up, looking at the scene with a puzzled expression in his eyes. Celestial Master Zhang, what just happened? He didn't want to be caught by me, so he self-destructed his rune seeds. Rune seeds? Yes, he was a rune seed realm expert who seemed to have mastered a divine ability that allowed him to devour living beings to strengthen himself. It's a pity we didn't capture him, Zhang Danyang said regretfully. This is indeed a bit troublesome. We haven't found out whether he has any connection with the 10,000 Demons sect yet. No worries, we'll personally pay a visit to the 10,000 Demons sect, then we shall know. All right, well, trouble, Celestial Master Zhang. With that, the two disappeared from their original spots. Not long after Zhang Danyang and Chang Fei left, a black light gradually emerged within a charred basin. Elsewhere, Lu Yin and his subordinate demon extermination generals gathered around a star plate. On the star plate, illusory images floated above it. There were cities, mountains, and plains. Besides that, there were many foggy areas with numerous yellow dots, red dots, and blue dots. From the appearance of Broken Mountain City, Westward City, Fierce Ghost Mountain Range, etc., it could be deduced that the region displayed on the star plate was the Netherworld realm. As for the cities, mountains, plains, etc., they were all occupied by the Demon Suppression Army. The foggy regions were still under the control of the Profound Darkness sect and its subordinate forces. There were plenty of yellow dots, representing cities with a gathering population. There were about 23 red dots, symbolizing the subordinate forces of the Profound Darkness sect. There was only one blue dot with a large range, which stood out the most on the star plate. That was the base of the Profound Darkness sect. Lu Yin pointed to two yellow dots, then towards a red, connecting them together before speaking indifferently. Our next targets are Yellow Harvest City, Flat Hill City, and then straight into South Nether Prefecture to strike at the Sky Brilliant sect. We obey. Everyone took their orders and then retreated. They all understood that Lu Yin was still yearning for the conquest of sects. Otherwise, he would not have been so determined to go straight into the Sky Brilliant sect. According to the original marching route, all the armies would march together, taking care of each other to guard against any changes. So, after capturing a city, they would take a short rest, not only to recover their peak state, but also to wait for the others. Now, the fierce ghost sect had been destroyed and they hadn't participated in the battle. Although they had rested for a day, their progress was still ahead of the other armies. However, even so, they hadn't encountered any strong enemies, as the profound darkness sect seemed to have contracted its forces, making them more and more courageous, even hoping to kill their way to South Nether Prefecture early, annihilate the Sky Brilliant sect, and make up for the losses of the last time. After the others left, Lu Yun began to sit in meditation again. Now, he had already raised a progress of the Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon Golden Body chapter to full completion by 13%, and on his Yuan Hai there were 13 rhombus runes with powerful energy. Half a day later, the 14th Law rune was engraved. At the same time, a huge battleship appeared in the sky above Yellow Harvest City. Lu Yin stepped out and saw figures soaring into the sky, attacking them, seeking death. Lu Yin's eyes gradually became covered with purple. Instantly, thunderbolts erupted and terrifying thunderous lights burst out of his purple pupils, directly bombarding the people below. The 7th rank thunderbolt intent was incredibly powerful, and the peak golden body realm couldn't bear it at all. Accompanied by a series of tragic screams, only one person remained in the sky, Zhang Taichang, who was at the early stage of Rune Seed Realm. On the other side, after casually dispatching a dozen Golden Body Realm opponents, Lu Yun approached by stepping on air, his gaze falling on Zhang Taichang in front of him. The two stood in the void, facing each other, one filled with confidence, the other shivering slightly. One move. After uttering this indifferently, Lu Yun's momentum exploded and he pointed out a finger. Formless Tribulation Finger. To deal with an early-stage Rune Seed Realm opponent, Lu Yun didn't need to go all out, not even using a third of his strength. However, upon witnessing the might of this finger, Zhang Taiqiang's face changed dramatically, and his heart cried out, "I'm doomed!" The finger fell, and the powerful force erupted, piercing through Zhang Taiqiang's early-stage Rune Seed Realm body before he could even react. Even his most core rune seed was pierced through. His life force dissipated, dead beyond dead. Give you 1 day's time, behead all remnants of sects in this city, and appease the city's people. With that, Lu Yun returned to the battleship. Chapter 417. 2 Fists, 2 Fingers, Yellow Harvest City. This time, Lu Yun obtained 1 7th grade pill from the Rune Seed Realm martial artist he killed, and more than 10 6th grade pills from the defeated Golden Body Realm martial artists. The higher the grade of a pill, the rarer it is. Even these Golden Body Realm and Rune Seed Realm martial artists would usually take the pill right away after obtaining it, leaving only 1 or 2 as a precaution, so there are very few left behind. Lu Yun didn't care about it. After returning to his cultivation room, he refined them into energy values. Name: Lu Yun Factions, Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Demon Suppression Army Cultivation Technique, Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, Golden Body Episode, Perfection 14%, Astonishing Wind Saber Manual 5th level, 100% Destruction, Life Destruction Saber Techniques 2nd level, Unparalleled Blood Blade 100%, Wind Thunder Manual 3rd level, Instant Horizon 100%, Fist Scripture 2nd level, Sky Lion Shaking the Sky 100%, Finger Scripture 1st level, Formless Tribulation Finger 100%, Innate Talent Level 9 Martial Arts, Golden Body Realm Peak 14 runes, Energy Value 215,000, automatically increases by 50 per day. Conception Slaughter Conception 7th rank 1%, Thunder Conception 7th rank 1%, Spatial Conception 6th rank 1%. Skills Level 6 Alchemy Technique 27%. Talent White Lotus Flame 7th rank 1%. Karma Value 101. Note 1. Karma value can be used to upgrade weapons or artifacts and fuse similar types of weapons. Note 2. Martial Academy St. Child. Increases by 1 every day. Demon Extermination Army, Earth rank, Demon Extermination General. Increases by 1 every day. Lu Yun checked his stats and found that his luck value had reached 101. It takes 100 luck value points to upgrade a mid-level mysterious weapon to a top-grade mysterious weapon. The Dragon Scale Saber is a mid-level mysterious weapon and has reached the level of upgradability. After some consideration, Lu Yun decided not to upgrade the Dragon Scale Saber. Now, if he were to use his full power, he would barely be able to handle a top-grade mysterious weapon. Moreover, his strength is constantly improving, and it won't be long before even a top-grade mysterious weapon cannot meet his needs. Although he couldn't directly upgrade, he could still fuse weapons. Fusing 2 weapons of the same type requires relatively fewer karma value points and is more cost-effective. With a thought, 2 glowing lights appeared in front of Lu Yun. As the glow faded, 2 powerful sabers were revealed. One of them is the Dragon Scale Saber, a mid-level mysterious weapon. Just 1 step away from top grade, it has been with Lu Yun since the Origin Fluid Realm. The other saber is called Cloud Breaker, which was obtained from a Rune Seed Realm mid-stage martial artist he previously killed, a superior profound artifact. With a focused mind, he muttered silently in his heart, "Fuse the Dragon Scale Saber and Cloud Breaker." The next moment, his karma value on the panel dropped sharply, leaving only 1 point left. At the same time, a mysterious cyan light enveloped both the Dragon Scale Saber and Cloud Breaker together. After a short while, the mysterious cyan light disappeared, revealing a brand new saber. Consumed 2 karma points, the Dragon Scale Saber and Cloud Breaker fused into a new weapon, the Azure Cloud Dragon Scale Saber. Azure Cloud Dragon Scale Saber. Superior Profound Artifact. It's still a superior profound artifact. Lu Yun is somewhat surprised with this result. The Dragon Scale Saber, because of its special material, is just 1 step away from being a top-grade mysterious weapon. The Cloud Breaker, on the other hand, is already a superior profound artifact. With the 2 fusing and consuming 100 karma points, the newly combined Azure Cloud Dragon Scale Saber surprisingly did not break out of the mysterious weapon category. However, one thing is certain. The brand new Azure Cloud Dragon Scale Saber is of much higher quality than the Cloud Breaker. Considering this just a small setback, Lu Yun didn't dwell on it too much. For him, the most important thing is to improve his own strength. Now that he has engraved 14 law runes, his strength has improved even further, but he is still a distance away from condensing rune seeds, and he cannot afford to slack off. After 1 day, Lu Yun has condensed another rune, and since most of it relied on his own cultivation, it only consumed 2,000 energy points. After carefully weighing his options, Lu Yun realized that if he didn't rely on energy points and devoted himself wholeheartedly to cultivation, he could engrave a law rune in about 2 days. This speed is far beyond the reach of other Golden Body Realm Peak martial artists. Of course, this is mainly due to the innate talent of his level 9 physique. Ending his cultivation, Lu Yun reassembled his forces and set out for his next destination. Flat Hill City, located in a mountainous area with a large river running through the city, is quite prosperous, with a large population of nearly 800,000 people. Simultaneously, Flat Hill City is home to 2 Rune Seed Realm powerhouses. One is in the early stage of the Rune Seed Realm, the other in the mid-stage, Wu Feng and Song Jian respectively. There are more than 20 Golden Body Realm martial artists and nearly 100 Origin Fluid Realm martial artists. With such strength, Flat Hill City is comparable to an average sect. In actuality, with the support of the Profound Darkness sect, the overall strength of Flat Hill City exceeds that of the Fierce Ghost sect by a slight margin. A tall, robust martial artist dressed in a black robe asked, "Elder Song, during your recent visit to the sect, did you receive any instructions?" This man is Wu Feng, one of the Rune Seed Realm powerhouses in Flat Hill City. Currently, the Demon Suppression Army has split into multiple factions, advancing in parallel, intending to gradually infiltrate the profound darkness domain. As the one responsible for guarding Flat Hill City, he is naturally anxious. In front of him is a thin, middle-aged man, also dressed in a black robe with a goatee. He is Song Jian, another Rune Seed Realm powerhouse in Flat Hill City, who has just returned from the main base of the Profound Darkness sect. According to the arrangements of the sect's high-level officials, we should try to buy as much time as possible. As long as the Demon Suppression Army doesn't rush to battle, our Profound Darkness sect welcomes it. So, you mean, we too have to hold Flat Hill City to our deaths? Wu Feng said in a low voice. Chapter 418. 2 fists, 2 fingers too, Song Jian nodded. Indeed, that's the case. For a while, both men fell into a brief silence. They were both very clear in their hearts that the Profound Darkness sect wanted to use their lives to slow down the advance of the Demon Suppression Army. But knowing this, what's the use? Could they resist? Obviously they couldn't. It didn't matter if it was Wu Feng or Song Jian. Both had family and loved ones behind them. If they dared to have a different heart, not only would they struggle to maintain their lives, their family and relatives would also be implicated. Elder Wu, I have not gained nothing this time. It is said that the Demon Suppression Army responsible for attacking our Flat Hill City is relatively weak, with less than 10,000 men, and only one of them possesses the strength of the Rune Seed Realm. If we could wipe out this Demon Suppression Army, provided we operate properly, there might be a possibility of returning to the sect. Upon hearing this, Wu Feng's eyes shone. Is this true? Absolutely true. However, the Demon Suppression Army is known for being brave and good at fighting. Among them, there are many exceptionally talented individuals. To dare to attack Flat Hill City with this level of strength, they must have some reliance. Song Jian stroked his goatee, pondering. We need to take the initiative to attack in order to eliminate them. Take the initiative to attack? Wu Feng shook his head. Every Demon Suppression Army has an equally powerful warship. We simply cannot break their defense. When he spoke to this point, he abruptly stopped, looking towards the distant sky. Eyes shrinking, he trembled and said, Elder Song, they have already arrived. What has arrived? Song Jian looked at him dubiously, then followed his gaze and looked back, only to see the sky tens of miles away turn pitch black. The dark sky was not due to the clouds, but a gigantic warship. Surrounding it were several warships that were relatively smaller in size. How could they be this fast? According to the intel I received, this Demon Suppression Army is supposed to arrive in 3 or 4 days. Despite the surprise, he didn't panic, but analyzed. They arrived so quickly, it is apparent that they ventured deep into enemy territory alone. It will take some time for their backup to arrive, making it easier for us to eliminate them. Before long, the number 18 warship broke through the clouds and slowly descended. The outline of a vast city appeared in the view of the demon extermination generals. We have reached the Flat Hill City. Qing, host, stood with his hands behind, smiling lightly. Yi Xian, who was on the side, showed an indifferent expression. The force of Flat Hill City is not weak. This battle will probably be tough. While speaking, his eyes swept over the city wall in the distance. The martial artists on it were already prepared, but they didn't show any signs of panic. The cities they had taken before, upon seeing the Demon Suppression Army's warship, were all scared stiff. This showed that the martial artists stationed in Flat Hill City were quite strong. With the general here, the Flat Hill City will fall in a snap. Qing, host said unconcernedly. As his words fell, Lu Yun appeared before them. The whole army attack! The faint voice, containing a wonderful power, reached the ears of every demon extermination general and demon extermination guard. By the time the Demon Suppression Army was ready to set off, Lu Yun's figure had already vanished from the spot, within a blink, appearing above the walls of Flat Hill City. At this moment, boom, 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 two terrifying auras erupted from Flat Hill City. Their auras exploded, and the two men, both at the Rune Seed Realm, rose into the air, directly surrounding Lu Yun. At the same time, 18 individuals at the Golden Body Realm flew out from the city, together with 5 on the city wall, a total of 23 Golden Body Realm individuals. In Lu Yun's command, there were only 21 Earth-rank demon extermination generals, including 2 who had recently broken through to the Golden Body Realm and were promoted to Earth-rank demon extermination generals. At this moment, even a mere Flat Hill City had a top-notch power surpassing the Demon Suppression Army. Therefore, it's no wonder why they were so confident. I heard that the Demon Suppression Army, Far Suppression Legion, spawned a monster who was promoted to an Earth-rank Demon Extermination General with the strength of the Golden Body Realm. It seems that the rumors are true. Song Jian scrutinized Lu Yun with his raw eyes, his voice hoarse, saying with a murderous, chilling intent, "Didn't expect my fame has spread so fast that even you demons know about me." Lu Yun said with a steady expression, speaking in a gentle tone. Wu Feng, who had a burly figure, said, "I know that every Earth-rank demon extermination general of the Demon Suppression Army has the strength of the Rune Seed Realm. For you to break the rules and become an Earth-rank demon extermination general, taking command of a Demon Suppression Army, your strength must be exceptional. However, here we have 2 Rune Seed Realms. Elder Song is even at the mid-stage of the Rune Seed Realm. I really don't know how you dare to venture deep into enemy territory and attack our Flat Hill City." As soon as he finished speaking, he took the initiative to attack, and his powerful rune exploded, covering the sky. At the same time, Song Jian also attacked right away, striking down with one palm. Lu Yun revealed a faint smile on his face. His Yuan Hai surged, with a light flickering around him. Meanwhile, he pointed out the power of heaven and earth adding onto it, seemingly forming a roaring waterfall. The formidable aura was awe-inspiring. Formless tribulation finger. Boom! Boom! The 2 powerful energies collided with each other. Then both were annihilated into nothingness. Immediately afterwards, the 7th rank of Thunderbolt Intent erupted, stimulating the 3,000 thunder movement. Lu Yun transformed into a frightening thunder field, forcing Wu Feng back. Next, the terrifying physical strength was activated. Under the help of the vast pure yang strong origin and some rune forces, a punch was blasted out. Sky lion shaking the sky. The terrifying punch abruptly erupted, shaking the void. Elder Song, be careful! Wu Feng's face immediately changed. He exerted all his rune ability onto a black spear, then disappeared. The next moment, he appeared on the side of Lu Yun. Chapter 419. 2 fists, 2 fingers, _3 with a thrust of his spear. He tried to stop Lu Yun's attack and share the pressure with Song Jian at the same time. However, Lu Yun's assault was too fast, the force it exploded with was too fierce. His counterattack barely dissipated some of the power, not even 1/10 of it. The rest of the force came crashing down, unstoppable. Song Jian, Rune Seed Realm mid-stage. His strength far surpassed Wu Feng, but at this moment, a strong unease arose in his heart. He wanted to dodge, yet he found himself stunned for an instant, his body halted, as if struck by something. By the time he reacted, the punch had already reached him. Boom! The force of hundreds of dragons blasted upon him, sending him flying. In an instant, his gold body shattered, blood and flesh splattering. Damn, how is he so powerful? Getting hit heavily with just one punch upon their first clash, on the brink of death, such strength was far beyond his expectations. However, what he felt more was panic. The fact that his opponent could endure his full-force punch surprised Lu Yun slightly, But understanding dawned upon him once he saw the shattered armor. Sky Lion shaking the sky. 10% of its force was blocked by another Rune Seed Realm fighter. 0% of the force was absorbed by the opponent's armor. Only 50% of the force landed on his body. Knowing this, Lu Yin threw another punch. Die for me! He punched. The golden heavenly lion roared. Its momentum like a storm was coming. It howled towards its target. Boom! All the power exploded. Song Jian died a sure death. Elder Song, just like that, he's gone. Wu Feng couldn't believe his own eyes. Song Jian, who was in the mid-stage of Rune Seed Realm, was killed by a demon suppression soldier who was at the peak of Gold Body Realm with just 2 punches. He didn't have any ability to resist. Devil, he's a devil. After he screamed, he had no intent to fight. He turned and ran. At this moment, he had forgotten about his family, his kin, everything. When faced with fear, all one's previous bellicose will collapse completely. This is the state Wu Feng is in now. Seems like you do know your abilities, but it's too late now. While he spoke, Lu Yin formed a seal with a finger. Boom! The formless tribulation finger, like a falling star, pierced through Wu Feng's body. Mid-air, flesh and blood splattered. A rune seed floated out. Lu Yin swiftly caught it. His power surged. The rune seed shattered, transforming into streaks of light, fading into the world. Facing 2 Rune Seed Realm fighters, Lu Yin, from start to end, threw 2 punches, pointed 2 fingers, and hastily ended the fight in a clean sweep. As for the fights among the Gold Body Realm and below, they were rather intense. Dark Cloud Manor, Golden Armor City. On top of a majestic city wall, the Gold Body Realm martial artist who was responsible for patrol, Huang Ping, sensed a vigorous disturbance from far away, and his face turned solemn. You all carry on with the patrol. I have to report something important to Elder Qin. After giving orders, Huang Ping disappeared from the city wall and flew towards the city. Elder Qin, there is an intense battle happening in Flat Hill City. The Demon Suppression Army might have initiated the sneak attack. Should we send in reinforcements? In front of him, a powerful elder's face turned solemn. The Golden Armor City that he was in charge of securing was located just a few thousand miles from Flat Hill City. If Flat Hill City was to be attacked by the Demon Suppression Army, the Golden Armor City he was defending would also be in danger. After some contemplation, his eyes flashed an unusual look. Then he said calmly, Our duty is to defend the Golden Armor City. However, the concept of if the lips are gone, the teeth will be cold. Can't be ignored, so we have to assist them. You take temporary charge of the city. I will go alone to assist them. At his words, Huang Ping's eyes brightened. He promptly agreed. Elder Qin, rest assured, during your absence, I will manage all matters of the city properly. Elder Qin nodded slightly, then left the city lord's mansion and headed towards Flat Hill City. I can't stay here for too long. If I delay for a few more days, it might cost me my life. After leaving Golden Armor City, he headed in the opposite direction of Flat Hill City. Chapter 420, Influence Attack. Far Suppression Legion. Inside the main hall of worship, No Eye, Bai Changfeng looked at the suddenly disappeared yellow dot on the star plate, his face slightly surprised. He had already received the news that Lu Yun's 18th warship was quickly advancing, capturing cities one after another, and not long ago it conquered Yellow Harvest City. Now another large city has been captured. Judging by their marching direction, it must be the Demon Suppression Army led by Lu Yin. According to the news, Flat Hill City is not weak in strength, with 2 Rune Seed Realm powerhouses guarding it and more than 20 Gold Body Realm martial artists. In terms of strength, it is not much inferior to an average sect. Now, from the situation displayed on the star plate, Flat Hill City has been captured, and the next step is to enter the South Nether Prefecture. However, Lu Yun's deep penetration alone can easily be besieged by the Profound Darkness sect and its subordinate forces, which will inevitably damage the strength of our Far Suppression Legion. Bai Changfeng's voice was serious. Even he would not dare to enter the south nether prefecture alone like Lu Yin, always slowing down the pace and advancing together with warship number 5 and warship N0. 9. General, how should we proceed? Another black rank demon extermination general asked. Upon hearing this, Bai Changfeng said, Zua Jisong Hongxingwu, Wei Zongqing, we will arrive at South Nether Prefecture in 3 days. Zua Jisong, Hongxingwu, and Wei Zongqing are Earth-rank demon extermination generals who are in charge of Warship N0, 5, Warship N0, 9, and Warship N0, 13, respectively. The demon suppression armies they lead have similar marching routes to Lu Yun's, with the next target being South Nether Prefecture. Now, the demon suppression army, led by Lu Yun, is about to reach the South Nether Prefecture, and they cannot fall too far behind. Otherwise, they will be easily defeated one by the Profound Darkness sect and its subordinate forces. Warship N0, 5, a burly man with thick eyebrows and big eyes, looked at the movements on the star plate, his face somewhat complicated. Is it a newborn calf, or does he have enough confidence in his own strength to enter the South Nether Prefecture in such a hurry? This man is Earth-rank demon extermination general Zhuang, who is in the late Rune Seed realm. When the region of Flat Hill City appeared on the star plate, he knew what was going on. General, I heard that the strength of Flat Hill City is not weak, and there is even a mid-Rune Seed realm elder of the Profound Darkness sect guarding it. Can Lu Yin take it down because his strength has reached the mid-Rune Seed realm? Next to him, Shi Kaitai, the strongest black-rank demon extermination general on Warship N0. 18 spoke with emotion. He had already condensed rune seeds early on, and they were even top-grade rune seeds, possessing a strong ability to fight across levels. He was not an opponent for the average rune seed realm early stage among the 100 sects. Now, knowing that Lu Yin had taken down Flat Hill City, he felt very complicated inside. Once upon a time, when Lu Yin was promoted to Earth-rank Demon Extermination General with only the Origin Fluid Realm cultivation base, he despised him deeply. But now, not much time has passed, and Lu Yin could even take down Flat Hill City, which was guarded by a mid-rune seed realm powerhouse. Zhuo Jisong ignored Shi Kaitai's complicated emotions, his gaze firmly on the star plate, and said indifferently, It seems that we must speed up our progress as well. Order the demon extermination generals under our command to speed up the attack on the Blackwater sect, and then quickly advance towards South Nether Prefecture. General, if we are too aggressive, our losses may be quite significant, Shi Kaitai said. We can't worry about that anymore. If the demon suppression army, led by Lu Yun, encounters an accident, it will directly affect our success or failure in capturing South Nether Prefecture. Then Zhu Jisong added in a low voice, I believe that others will be more anxious than us. Shi Kaitai didn't understand, but he still obediently followed the order, notifying the other demon extermination generals to launch a full-scale attack on the Blackwater sect. Haha, I knew Lu Yin was not simple. In the blink of an eye, he took down Flat Hill City, and even plans to be the first to attack South Nether Prefecture. On Warship N0, 13, Wei Zongqing couldn't help but burst into laughter when he saw the disappearance of the red belonging to Flat Hill City on the star plate. Immediately, he commanded Shi Siming next to him, Stop recuperating. Let the army continue to move forward. Capture Big Lake City within 1 day. Then directly take Golden Armor City, and finally enter South Nether Prefecture. On the other hand, Lu Yin didn't know that taking down Flat Hill City had a significant impact on his colleagues. Flat Hill City has a population of more than 700,000 people. It is not easy to fully integrate it. Lu Yin gave Yi Xian and others 2 days to complete the task. Within 2 days, they must eliminate all the remnants and completely stabilize the hearts of the people in Flat Hill City. As for himself, he found a secluded place near Flat Hill City and continued to practice. Prior to the battle, After killing 2 Rune Seed Realm powerhouses, he killed 12 Gold Body Realm fighters, seizing a lot of things. Pills and spiritual objects were all refined by him and converted into energy value. The other items, including weapons and cultivation techniques, were all collected into the Sumi Ring, to be processed together after the end of the war. 2 days passed slowly. Name: Lu Yun Force, Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Demon Suppression Army, Cultivation Technique, Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, Golden Body Episode, Perfection 20%. Omitted: Innate Talent, Level 9 Martial Arts, Peak Golden Body Realm, 20 Law Runes, Energy Value, 313,000, automatically increased by 50 per day. Conceptions: Slaughter Conception, 7th rank 1%. Thunder Conception, 7th rank 1%. Spatial Conception, 6th rank 1%. Skills: Level 6 Alchemy Technique, 27%. Talents: White Lotus Flame, 7th rank 1%. Luck Value: 7 after 2 days of hard cultivation. His law runes increased by 5 again, reaching 20. Chapter 421. Influence Attack. Underscore: to each law rune contains a powerful force. That kind of power is far beyond pure yang strong origin, and the two are completely different levels of power. Just inscribing 20 runes, my strength has increased by more than 50% compared to when I first entered the peak of the Golden Body Realm. If I inscribed 100 runes and condensed them into a rune seed, I would have the power to fight even at the peak of the rune seed realm. Feeling the formidable power contained in his body, Lu Yun muttered to himself. After finishing his cultivation, he looked up at the sky, where the stars were hidden and dawn was approaching. It's time to leave. In a blink of an eye, Lu Yun stood up, deployed Instant Horizon, and disappeared from the spot. How is Flat Hill City now? After returning to Warship 18, Lu Yun immediately summoned black-rank demon extermination generals like Yi Xian and Qing Ho. "Reporting, General, the mission is accomplished," said Yi Xian, a black-rank demon extermination general, respectfully. "Very well. Inform the whole army. We will set off in an hour. Our destination is South Nether Prefecture, Sky Brilliant Sect." An hour later, the warship started and soared into the sky. The rumbling sound echoed over Flat Hill City. I've long heard that the Mori Jin Demon Suppression Army is a righteous force, and now it seems that the rumors are true. After entering Flat Hill City, apart from searching for and exterminating the remnants of the Profound Darkness sect, they have not committed any crimes against ordinary people and martial artists. An unknown patriarch of a small family watched the colossal worship and sighed. Behind him, a little girl with a bun on her head said sweetly, "Father, I heard that in the near future, Mori Jin will establish a martial academy in Flat Hill City, and anyone under the age of 15 who has a level 2 innate talent can enroll." "Yes, Cheener, you will definitely be able to enter the martial academy in the future and become a transforming origin realm, even the legendary origin fluid realm powerhouse. For clans like theirs, without cultivation techniques, the true Chi realm is already their limit. However, it's thanks to them being a small family that they were able to survive. All the large families were connected to the Profound Darkness sect or other sects, and even their direct descendants were part of their sections. After the Demon Suppression Army entered Flat Hill City, these large families were subjected to a brutal bloodbath. Only the strongest in the city had true Chi realm. In the city lord's residence, a refined, middle-aged man revealed a complex emotion on his face as the Demon Suppression Army's warship disappeared into the horizon. "I never thought that I, a mere true Chi realm loose practitioner, would one day become the garrison commander of a city with hundreds of thousands of inhabitants." He was a loose practitioner named Fong Tianfan from Flat Hill City. He had good social connections and a clean identity, without any ties to the Profound Darkness sect or other sections. Meanwhile, Fang Tianfan made significant contributions during Yi Xian and other demon extermination generals' operations to clean up the remnants of the profound darkness sect in Flat Hill City. With his good management abilities and the top cultivation of his current realm, Yi Xian promoted him to deputy garrison commander, fully handling all affairs of Flat Hill City before the imperial court's appointment arrives. Even though he was only the deputy garrison commander, this opportunity was invaluable to him. Now that I've become the garrison commander, I should make appropriate achievements. Maybe later, the imperial court will appoint me as the real garrison commander of Flat Hill City. Dark Cloud Manor, Golden Armor City. 2 days have passed, and Elder Qin should be back by now, right? Huang Ping gazed into the direction of Flat Hill City while standing on the city wall, talking to himself. 2 days ago, Elder Chen went to Flat Hill City to provide support and asked him to handle Golden Armor City's affairs. However, shortly after Elder Chen left, the battle fluctuations in Flat Hill City disappeared, signaling that the battle had ended. But Elder Chen never returned, which raised some doubts in his mind. Even the right to rule a city didn't make him feel any joy. Was Flat Hill City taken after all? A thought emerged in his heart. At this moment, he seemed to have sensed something and looked up at the distant sky. A gigantic warship broke through the air, followed by several smaller warships, emanating a strong, oppressive atmosphere as they approached Golden Armor City. It's over, everything is over. Huang Ping's eyes widened, and his body trembled slightly. As a steward of the profound darkness sect, he had some understanding of the demon suppression army of Morijin. Every fleet, at the very least, had an Earth-rank demon extermination general stationed at its core. Every Earth-rank demon extermination general had at least the combat power of the Rune Seed realm. Under their command, there were no less than 20 gold body realm black-rank demon extermination generals. At present, in Golden Armor City, including himself, there were only 6 gold body realm martial artists. With such strength, it was impossible to resist an Earth-rank demon extermination general, let alone deal with the black-rank demon extermination generals under their command. Elder Qin must have encountered some misfortune. With my current strength, it's undoubtedly futile to try and block this demon suppression army. Judging by this warship's speed, it will take about 15 minutes to reach Golden Armor City. His eyes filled with determination. He then turned to the other gold body realm martial artists beside him. Everyone, the demon suppression army is already approaching. Elder Chen's whereabouts are unknown, and it is impossible for us to defend Golden Armor City with our current strength. If we fall into the hands of the demon suppression army, there will be no chance of survival. Now, we must find our own way to survive. With that, he fled the city. The remaining gold body realm martial artists looked at each other with faces showing indecision. Huang Ping is a lone and helpless man, while the rest of us have families and attachments. If we abandon the city without permission and are considered traitors, the consequences, as you all know. A relatively older gold body realm martial artist said indifferently. Hearing this, the faces of those who were hesitant before changed slightly. As stewards of the profound darkness sect, they knew how severe the punishments for those who betrayed the sect were. For any traitor, their direct relatives within 3 generations would suffer the excruciating pain of having their tendons pulled out and their souls refined, which was extremely cruel. And they, as gold body realm martial artists, each had a considerable family behind them. Fine, as an old man, I can't advance to the Rune Seed realm in my lifetime, and I don't have many decades left to live anyway. I'll live and die with Golden Armor City. After sighing, an elderly man dressed in a black robe, with white hair and gloomy eyes, revealed a trace of relief on his face. Of course, if he still had hope of breaking through to the Rune Seed realm, he might have followed Huang Ping directly and abandoned the city. Ha! Everyone, we've arrived at Golden Armor City. It'll give you 6 hours to take it down for me. Wei Zongqing laughed loudly. stepping onto the air and directly arriving above the Golden Armor City. I am the Earth-rank Demon Extermination General of the Far Suppression Legion, Wei Zongqing. If all those tied to the Profound Darkness sect and its subordinate forces in Golden Armor City abandon their cultivation and surrender obediently, I can spare your lives. The booming voice echoed over the Golden Armor City, reaching the ears of every martial artist and ordinary person. However, most people showed no significant reaction. The major families had already left Golden Armor City upon hearing of the Demon Suppression Army's arrival. What was left were mostly small families and ordinary people. Of course, some families were merely involved with the subordinate forces of the Profound Darkness sect and did not have the ability to leave the Dark Cloud Manor. When they heard of the Demon Suppression Army's arrival, they were completely panic-stricken. Abandoning our cultivation at this stage amounts to suicide. An old man burst out with his powerful strength, flying out of Golden Armor City, and coldly saying, "Since Morijin is not paving our way to survive, we have to." Before finishing his sentence, he was obliterated by a punch. The person who dealt the blow was a half-step Rune Seed Realm Black Rank Demon Extermination General under Wei Zongqing's command. I remember that there's supposed to be a Rune Seed Realm martial artist responsible for guarding Golden Armor City. Where is he? Why hasn't he shown up? Did he run away? Wei Zongqing asked indifferently. He must have been scared away by the general's formidable reputation. One of the black rank demon extermination generals by his side immediately flattered. Nonsense! I'm only at the middle stage of the Rune Seed realm, and am just an ordinary earth rank demon extermination general among the Far Suppression Legion. What reputation do I have? Who doesn't know that the general wields a black mountain seal? With it, you can even kill peak Rune Seed realm fighters. That's true. Wei Zongqing nodded slightly before commanding. Since there's no Rune Seed realm powerhouse in Golden Armor City, I won't compete with you for military merits. In less than 2 hours, the 5 gold body realm martial artists guarding the Golden Armor City and other martial artists were wiped out. The defensive forces of Golden Armor City are so weak. Could it be that the Profound Darkness sect has already recalled all its main forces to their headquarters? Wei Zongqing stroked his chin, analyzing the situation in his heart. Meanwhile, he took out the star plate and erased the yellow to representing Golden Armor City. Chapter 422. Ambush. 3 swords and 9 swords array Profound Darkness sect. Brother Zhang, have you gained anything on this trip? After learning that Zhang Danyang and Chang Fei had returned, the sect leader of the Profound Darkness sect personally went out to meet them. There was no choice. The Demon Suppression Army was pressing on their boundaries, occupying nearly a quarter of their domain in the Profound Darkness domain, and was about to force their way to the main base of the Profound Darkness sect. The crisis was imminent. If the 10,000 Demons sect, a former fierce rival, were to stab them in the back, the Profound Darkness sect would face enemies from both front and rear. The mastermind behind the South Valley City issue is just a Rune Seed realm insect. However, his divine ability is quite bizarre. I originally intended to capture and study him, but he turned out to be a decisive person, willing to self-detonate his Rune Seed rather than be captured alive by me. Zhang Danyang spoke casually, still feeling regretful as he thought of Han Feng's resolute self-destruction under his own immense divine ability. To someone as strong as him, a Rune Seed realm cultivator was indeed not much different from an insect. However, Han Feng's divine ability was quite peculiar, as he devoured the life force and blood of more than 100,000 people under Zhang Danyang's watch, thus strengthening himself. Zhang was also quite curious about such a divine ability. So, does this man have anything to do with the 10,000 Demon sect? The sect leader of the Profound Darkness sect asked further. Sect leader, this matter should have nothing to do with the 10,000 Demon sect. At this time, Chang Fei timely spoke up. Zhang Danyang and I personally went to the 10,000 Demon sect and found that they were also targets of the Mori Jin Demon Suppression Army. At this moment, they are busy dealing with a powerful Demon Suppression Army legion and would not take the initiative to offend our Profound Darkness sect. At this moment, Zhang Danyang also nodded. I originally wanted to see if we could bring the 10,000 Demon sect into our camp, but it seems that they are struggling as well. Seeing this, the Profound Darkness sect leader's face instantly revealed a relieved expression. Originally worried that the 10,000 Demon sect was causing trouble behind their backs, they suddenly discovered that their rivals were also in the same predicament, which not only gave them a sigh of relief but also brought inexplicable comfort to their hearts. Sect leader, on my way here, I heard that Dark Cloud Manor has fallen, along with Bright Splendor Prefecture, Maple Forest Prefecture, and Sunblaze Prefecture, which have almost fallen into the hands of the Demon Suppression Army. When will our Profound Darkness sect counterattack? Hearing this, the Profound Darkness sect leader looked at Zhang Danyang and said, I have a plan in mind, but I still need to discuss it with Celestial Master Zhang. Zhang Danyang said, My Dragon Tiger Mountain has been trampled by the Demon Suppression Army, and now I wander like a rootless duckweed, hoping to resolve the current disaster and rebuild my mountain gate. If Sect Leaderling has any strategies, please feel free to share. In the end, his face was full of indignation. For 1,000 years, Dragon Tiger Mountain lost its mountain gate to Morijin twice, which deepened his hatred for Morijin. But he also knew that with Dragon Tiger Mountain strength, trying to resist the Morijin Demon Suppression Army was undoubtedly like striking a rock with an egg. The Demon Suppression Army was too powerful. Just one legion was enough to sweep a region, and 2 legions forced both Dragon Tiger Mountain and the Profound Darkness sect to retract their power. For this reason, he had to be cautious. The sect leader of the Profound Darkness sect nodded and said, In that case, let us summon the true masters of the Golden Core realm from both parties to discuss together in the main hall. All right. After leaving Flat Hill City, Battlecruiser 18 directly sailed into South Nether Prefecture. South Nether Prefecture was home to 3 major sects: the Sky Brilliant sect, Cloud Jade Pavilion, and Rashomon sect. Among them, the Sky Brilliant sect had the strongest overall strength. According to the information obtained by the Demon Suppression Army, the Sky Brilliant sect had 3 Rune Seed Realm powerhouses. Sect Master Gong Sun Shuarong, Rune Seed Realm Mid-Stage, barely had the combat power of the Rune Seed Realm Late Stage with the help of the sect's treasure. Supreme Elder Li Chuanshou, Rune Seed Realm Mid-Stage, had been in seclusion for nearly 100 years at this realm and was on the verge of breaking through. Second Supreme Elder Guandao Zhou, Rune Seed Realm Early Stage. Although Guandao Zhou was weak in combat, he was a 7th grade alchemist and very wealthy. It was precisely for this reason that Lu Yun decided to target the Sky Brilliant sect. Only Earth rank demon extermination generals and above were aware of this information. Black rank demon extermination generals and lower were not qualified to know it. If people like Yi Xian and Qing Ho knew that they were about to face such a powerful foundation of the Sky Brilliant sect, they would probably not be so spirited and high-spirited. During these days, following Lu Yin, everything had been smooth sailing, almost without encountering any strong enemies. Even if there were, they were all killed instantly by Lu Yin, with Yi Xian, Qing Ho, and others following behind to cheer and clean up the aftermath. They had accumulated many military merits and would receive many rewards once the battle was over. Moreover, as long as they reached the Rune Seed realm, they could advance further. Now, seeing the exuberant and battle-spirited demon extermination generals under his command, Lu Yun smiled faintly. These demon extermination generals, in normal times, were each proud and rebellious. But after showing off a few of his skills and killing a few Rune Seed Realm powerhouses, He had completely subdued them. Thinking of this, Lu Yin felt a sense of pride in his heart. Unfortunately, neither Yi Xian nor Qing Hou had strong potential. At most, they would reach the Rune Seed realm, unable to catch up with his progress in the future. Regaining his composure, Lu Yin prepared to return to cultivation. They had just entered South Nether Prefecture, and the Sky Brilliance sect was still tens of thousands of miles away, so it would take some time to get there. Inside a large mountain, a dozen strands of rainbow light converged. These rainbow lights were each a different color, and within them stood a figure. As the rainbow lights receded, these people, men and women, all over 40 years old, had different temperaments. Some were as sharp as sword radiance, others steady as a rock or as cunning as a jackal. Moreover, each of them had an incredibly powerful aura, with the weakest being in the late stage of the Golden Body Realm, while the rest were in the peak of the Golden Body Realm or the half-step Rune Seed Realm. Chapter 4:23 Ambush, 3 sabers and 9 swords array _2. There were 3 auras that were the most powerful, and they were all in the Rune Seed Realm. Among them, the most powerful was an old man with white hair and a crane-like face, who had already reached the middle stage of the Rune Seed Realm. He glanced at the other 2 strong people, who were also exuding Rune Seed Realm aura, and smiled. "Brother Juan, sister Yu, you're finally here." One of them, a middle-aged man with a powerful aura, spoke vigorously and laughed. "As it concerns the survival of our sect, Rashamon's sect naturally takes it seriously. After receiving the news from your esteemed sect, we immediately set out." Rashamon's sect was one of the 3 major powers in South Nether Prefecture. Its strength and heritage were slightly inferior to that of Sky Brilliant sect, but it also had a middle-stage Rune Seed Realm expert. This middle-aged man was Rashamon's sect's deputy sect master, Waningji. He had not been in the Rune Seed Realm early stage for long, and was invited by Sky Brilliance sect to come here and jointly attack the Demon Suppression Army. An elderly, white-haired woman beside him also nodded. Indeed, our Cloud Jade Pavilion also attaches great importance to this joint attack. However, brotherly, how do you plan to take action? Although our strength is not weak, we only have 13 people who came in haste. If we are not fully prepared, I'm afraid we won't even be able to break the defenses of their battleships, let alone block the enemy. This elderly woman was the Supreme Elder of Cloud Jade Pavilion. She had originally planned to go into seclusion, but hearing of the Demon Suppression Army's arrival, she had to pick up the burden again. Among the crowd, Sky Brilliant Sect's Supreme Elder, Li Chuancho, had the strongest strength. Additionally, Sky Brilliant Sect had taken the lead on this matter, so everyone's eyes were focused on him. Li Chuancho smiled slightly and looked around, saying, "What do the 2 of you think of the terrain here?" Upon hearing this, both the deputy sect master, Waningji, and the elderly woman of Cloud Jade Pavilion were taken aback, as they had hurried here without paying attention to the terrain. After being reminded by Li Chuancho, they began to check for any special features of the place. A dozen breaths later, Deputy Sect Master Waningji frowned. "The heavenly and earthly spiritual chi here is quite rich, but it still doesn't compare to where our sects are located. Apart from this, I really can't see anything remarkable." The elderly woman of Cloud Jade Pavilion remained silent, apparently not finding anything special about the place either. At that moment, a cold voice suddenly sounded. "Supreme Elder, not only is the heavenly and earthly spiritual chi here more accessible, but there are also 3 towering peaks, with 9 other equally massive peaks connected to it. This kind of terrain is a natural place for laying out arrays." The speaker was a woman in her early 20s, with a gorgeous face, a slender body, and straight legs. She was wearing a white skirt, and she had an ethereal and elegant air about her. After being reminded by her, the elderly woman of Cloud Jade Pavilion carefully observed the 3 towering, sword-like peaks beneath her feet, each connected to 3 other 1,000 feet high peaks. "Haha, This young one has good eyes, spotting the mystery at a glance. Li Chuanshou laughed lightly. Thank you for the compliment, Senior Li. The younger generation was just lucky to see a little clue. Wan Ingji said, Brother Li, the weakest of the Demon Suppression Army's battleships is of treasure rank, with no shortage of superior treasure and even spirit-ranked battleships. Will the array that we hurriedly set up be able to break their defenses? As the deputy sect master of Rashomon sect, he also knew about the Demon Suppression Army of Morijin. Not only did they have powerful demon extermination generals, but they also had battleships that could travel tens of thousands of miles a day with unparalleled defense. Among them, the main ships of each legion were at least at the spirit artifact level, and even a Golden Core realm expert could not break their defenses in a short time. The other secondary ships were superior treasures, and even if they could set up a large array, it could only deal a blow with the power comparable to the peak of the Rune Seed realm. Brother Wan, don't worry. I chose this ambush location for a reason. Li Chuanshou stroked his beard and smiled. The defense of the Demon Suppression Army's battleships is indeed terrifying, but it also requires the corresponding strength to fully unleash it. As for the leader of the Demon Suppression Army, we are ambushing this time. Although he is a monster, he is merely at the Golden Body realm. Even if his combat power is terrifying, he cannot fully activate the battleship's defenses. Apart from that, the natural terrain here is not inferior to the 9 peaks of our Sky Brilliant sect. If we were to arrange the 3 sabers and 9 swords array, coupled with the rich heavenly and earthly spiritual chi here, it would certainly deliver a full force blow comparable to the peak of the Rune Seed realm. At this point, Li Chuanshou showed a confident smile on his face. The 3 sabers and 9 swords array was one of the inheritances of Sky Brilliant sect. If 12 Rune Seed realm martial artists were the main array, it could even unleash a power comparable to a true master of the Golden Core realm. The elderly woman of Cloud Jade Pavilion said, If what Elderly said is true, we can rely on the 3 sabers and 9 swords array to break the defenses of the Demon Suppression Army's battleships. But to meet one person's condition, how can we ensure that the Demon Suppression Army will pass through here? Wan Ingji also nodded. South Nether Prefecture is so vast, and the Demon Suppression Army's target is one of our 3 sections. The likelihood of them passing through here is minuscule. Li Chuanshou smiled awkwardly. I apologize for not informing you in advance. The Demon Suppression Army we're intercepting this time is coming from Flat Hill City in Dark Cloud Manor, and its target is directly aimed at our Sky Brilliant sect. So, they will definitely pass through here, and the likelihood of our successful ambush here is very high. Rashomon sect and Cloud Jade Pavilions, people suddenly understood. It turned out that Sky Brilliant sect was trying to use their help to jointly resolve their own crisis. However, at this point, retreating was clearly impossible. Both of you rest assured. As long as we eliminate this Demon Suppression Army, when other Demon Suppression Armies attack your sects, my Sky Brilliant sect will not stand idly by. Li Chuanshou said sincerely. Don't worry, we will do our best. But I hope Elderly will not go back on his word then. Of course, as long as our 3 sects join forces and unite, even without the help of the Profound Darkness sect, we can still preserve our sect inheritance. Mentioning the Profound Darkness sect, everyone's faces soured. The Profound Darkness sect, in order to maintain its own power, had actually retracted its forces, leaving these vassal forces to fend for themselves. This was truly infuriating. If not for the Profound Darkness sect, they would not have been targeted by Morijin's Demon Suppression Army. At this moment, they were not protected by the Profound Darkness sect and were instead implicated. Naturally, they had complaints in their hearts. The 18th warship, along with several warships following behind it, boldly passed through the air above South Nether Prefecture. As the distance to the Sky Brilliance sect grew closer, Yi Xian and the other black-rank demon extermination generals felt both nervous and excited. Under the leadership of their previous Earth-rank demon extermination general, they hadn't accomplished breaking a sect, only destroying cities at most. Eventually, during the battle with the White Lotus sect, their previous general died at the hands of a Rune Seed realm mid-stage expert. Now, under Lu Yun's leadership, they had first destroyed the Fierce Ghost sect and were currently going to war against the Sky Brilliant sect, which naturally made them anxious. After all, the fall of the Fierce Ghost sect was not much to do with them. They just took advantage of the situation. But now they were truly attacking the Sky Brilliant sect. Brother Yi, when will we arrive at the Sky Brilliant sect? I'm eager to have a good fight. After patrolling the warship and finding nothing unusual, Qing Ho came over to ask Yi Xian about the situation. During Lu Yun's seclusion, the star plate had been entrusted to Yi Xian. He took out the star plate, and after activating it, a map of the profound darkness domain appeared with a small part of it enlarged. At this time, several yellow points were marked on the map, as well as 3 conspicuous red points, representing the Sky Brilliant sect, Rashomon sect, and Cloud Jade Pavilion, respectively. In addition, a light group was slowly moving towards the direction of the Sky Brilliant sect. Yi Xian looked at the star plate, and after carefully observing it, he said in a low voice, "According to our current speed, it will take about 12 to 13 hours. Ah, it seems we still have to wait a while. All right, hurry back to patrol and prevent any sea beasts from attacking." All right. In this maritime area, there were often powerful sea beasts hovering in the air, always keeping an eye on the human race. When they encountered warships, they would also take the initiative to attack. On their journey, they had already defeated many powerful sea beasts. They even encountered a 7th-rank sea beast once that Lu Yun had to deal with personally. Therefore, when Yi Xian mentioned sea beasts, Qing Ho became more cautious and didn't take it lightly. The black-rank demon extermination generals were responsible for patrolling in turns. Today, it was his turn to patrol, and if there were any accidents, the responsibility would fall on him. He could not help but be cautious. An hour later, the 18th warship approached a range of rolling mountains. Standing on the spacious deck outside the warship, one could see 12 massive and magnificent peaks from afar. Among them, 3 peaks soared into the sky like pillars, appearing majestic and magnificent. Chapter 424. It seems like we've become a burden. They've arrived. Feeling the change in the flow of energy between heaven and earth, Li Chuanshou knew that the Sky Brilliant sect's guess was not wrong. The efforts they had made in preparation here were not wasted. His eyes flashed with shadows. Then he said faintly, "Everyone, please enter the array." The elderly woman of Cloud Jade Pavilion and the vice sect master of Rashomon sect. Waningji looked at each other, nodded slightly, then turned their eyes to the young and charming, extraordinarily beautiful heavenly pride of Cloud Jade Pavilion behind them and instructed, "Wei Wei, you are at a lower cultivation level and only need to activate the array." "Yes," the woman called Wei Wei responded. Immediately, 12 rainbows soared into the sky. Li Chuanshou, Waningji, and the white-haired old woman of Cloud Jade Pavilion, who had the greatest strength, each took one of the 3 largest peaks. The other 9 martial artists at the peak of the Golden Body realm took the remaining 9 peaks. 12 peaks, each a point in the array, which harnesses the heavenly and earthly spiritual chi and principles in a 10,000 li radius to launch a supremely strong attack. Wei Wei, with her waterfall-like black hair, eyes like clear pools, skin shimmering with speckles of radiance, stared into the distant horizon. There, a massive battleship with overwhelming might and grandeur was breaking through the sky. A huge flag hung on the battleship, inscribed with the 2 massive characters, Demon Suppression. The Demon Suppression Army had arrived. Everyone else also saw the Demon Suppression Army's battleship. Its massive figure was all too conspicuous. They could feel a heavy oppressive sensation from a long way off. The instant Wei Wei saw the arrival of the Demon Suppression Army's battleship, She formed hand seals and launched a blackened light towards the ground under her feet. The core of the 3 sabers and 9 swords array was here, and it immediately burst forth a dazzling green light that soared into the sky. When the green light shot up to the same height as the 3 giant peaks where Li Chuancho and others holding Rune Seed Realm stood, it extended in all directions, forming a huge light curtain, which quickly covered the 12 peaks. At the same time, the powers defending the 12 peaks each unleashed a different colored blackened light, which entered the green light curtain that covered the sky. In an instant, a surge of dazzling light and magnificent rainbows occasionally erupted with loud roars, with a whirlwind that hurled sand and stones all around. "What is that?" At the moment this scene occurred, it was immediately discovered by Qing Ho, who was on patrol. Seeing the sudden surge of light in the distance and the overwhelming might it caused, he instantly felt a sense of foreboding. As a result, before reporting to Lu Yin, he immediately activated the battleship's defensive array. Each battleship had a powerful defense system that could unleash immense power if fully activated. Brilliant light shone all around, and a golden radiance immediately enveloped the entire battleship. The movement caused by Qing Hao's activation of the array quickly alerted Yi Xian, Fang Hui, and Meng Fan, the black-rank demon extermination generals. "Qing Ho, what happened?" Activating the battleship's defensive array without Lu Yun's permission should not have been allowed. Yet before Qing Ho could respond, they saw the thundering clouds and dazzling rainbows over the 12 peaks in the distance, as though they were brewing some terrifying power. "We are being ambushed. Everyone quickly join me in activating the array." Qing Ho, with bulging veins on his forehead and sweat pouring down, yelled. Obviously, activating the array was a huge drain for him. Yi Xian and the others also understood the seriousness of the situation. Without taking the time to report to Lu Yin, who was in seclusion, they all marshaled their own powers to activate the array together. With the addition of Yi Xian and the others, the golden light shrouding the outside of the battleship became even brighter, to the point where they could vaguely see golden patterns circulating on it. 3 sabers and 9 swords array, rise. An icy and ruthless voice suddenly echoed, and within the light curtain covering the 12 peaks, monstrous powers immediately surged. Sure. Wave after wave of green light emerged, condensing into gigantic green swords. Each sword was 1,000 feet long and exuded fierce might, as if wanting to cleave the heavens and the earth. That was not the end. After the 9 green colossal swords appeared, the light curtain once again had 3 purple lights shooting towards the sky. These 3 purple lights turned into a purple saber aura after shooting into the sky. The aura spanned across the world with unrivaled might. Kill! Accompanied by an icy voice, the 3 colossal purple saber auras and 9 green colossal swords swung down from the distant horizon, as if they had pierced through space and passed through time. In an instant, the 9 green colossal swords fell on the battleship. Boom! 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 Sounds like thunder reverberated suddenly, shaking the massive battleship violently and making the golden protective light outside flicker. Yi Xian and others' faces turned pale, and they staggered. The power unleashed by these 9 green colossal swords reached the late Rune Seed Realm. It was only through their full effort of activating the ray that they barely withstood this strike. However, before they could recover, the 3 long-prepared saber auras descended with terrifying might. Crack! The moment the supremely mighty saber aura touched the battleship's protective shield, a crisp sound echoed. At the same time, all the black-rank demon extermination generals, including Yi Xian, staggered and spat out fresh blood from their mouths. Because Yi Xian was in the half-step Rune Seed Realm, he was slightly better off and could barely still stand. Meanwhile, Qing Ho and others' faces turned deathly pale, and they staggered and collapsed on the battleship. It's over, everything's over. Fang Hui, laying on the battleship's deck, watched the supreme saber aura carrying residual might slowly descending, and felt a wave of despair rise in his heart. Chapter 4:25. It Seems Like We've Become a Burden, Part 2. At the same time, more than a dozen black-rank demon extermination generals activated their arrays, which were enough to defend against late-stage rune seed realm experts' attacks. However, the blade in just a moment destroyed their defensive rune seeds, proving that its power had undoubtedly reached the peak of the rune seed realm. Facing such a formidable power, no one on the 18 warships could stop it. Even Lu Yin, who had demonstrated his strongest combat strength in front of them, had barely reached the late-stage rune seed realm. This level of combat strength, although already considered top tier in the Far Suppression Legion, was still incapable of dealing with the upcoming crisis. Thinking about this, Feng Hui closed his eyes, preparing to await the arrival of death. Because of his full force activation of the array, when the array was broken, he suffered a strong backlash and had no combat power at all. There was nothing he could do but quietly wait for death. I'm only half a step away from condensing rune seeds. I refuse to fall like this. Qing Ho struggled to stand, but his heavily injured body couldn't resist the oppressive force of the unparalleled blade. As the blade broke through the defensive array, the full extent of its power was about to be unleashed upon the warship, when a flash of purple light suddenly burst into the sky. Within that light, a figure in black armor radiated a powerful aura, nearly suffocating the heavily injured Qing Ho and the others. Heavenly Lion shaking the sky. With a furious roar, Lu Yin unleashed a terrifying golden heavenly lion, hurtling toward the 3 descending blades. Boom! Clouds rolled, brilliant light flashed, the blade shattered, and a tsunami-like, terrifying ripple spread, while Lu Yin's figure was also forced back by the shock. However, his sharp aura still soared to the peak, as if blocking this desperate blade was nothing more than a warm-up for him. You finally came out. Seeing Lu Yun appear in black armor, Yi Xian let out a long sigh of relief. No matter what, their lives were temporarily saved. At the same time, he immediately took out a pill surrounded by golden halos and swallowed it, recovering from his injuries. He knew that even if Lu Yun could deal with the terrifying blade, the crisis was far from over. As expected, just after he swallowed the pill, streaks of light tore through the sky in the distance, quickly approaching. Yi Xian, Qing Ho, and the others couldn't help but change their expressions. Their fears had come true. You all focus on recovering. Leave these people to me, said Lu Yin with an unparalleled confidence that made everyone feel at ease. As soon as the words fell, Lu Yin rose from the warship, reaching the depths of the sky in an instant, looking down on the approaching lights. -3 Rune Seed Realm. 10 Golden Body Realm. No wonder you dare to ambush here. Kill. With a cold command from Li Chuanshou, the 12 people behind him simultaneously launched their ultimate moves and weapons, attacking Lu Yin. As Lu Yin's eyes flickered with divine light, a touch of extreme coldness spread. Unfortunately, you've encountered me. As soon as the words fell, the azure cloud dragon scale saber suddenly appeared in his hand, with surges of thunder radiating from it, emitting an astonishing rumbling. A powerful atmosphere was infused into the blade, and an unparalleled blade light instantly burst out, crushing the sky like a wild tsunami. In the distance, Li Chuanshou and the others quickly approaching could not help but gasp for air, having never expected Lu Yin to erupt with such terrifying power. With one shocking slash, 5 people lost their lives. After the first slash, Lu Yin didn't give his enemies a chance to catch their breath, and the 3,000 thunder movement roared to life. Clang! The sound of metal clashing rang out continuously, and 3 more people died. These people, at least in the late and peak stages of the Gold Body Realm, had no chance of fighting back against Lu Yun's blade. They couldn't even see Lu Yun's figure, and by the time they reacted, everything was swallowed by an endless darkness. After killing several Gold Body Realm martial artists consecutively, Lu Yun's desire for battle intensified, and the black armor around him released a cold light that added to his awe-inspiring aura. Bang! The Rashomon sect's deputy sect master, Waningji, unleashed an attack that landed heavily on Lu Yun's treasure artifact armor. The armor lit up with red light and revolving runes, reflecting the attack. A treasure artifact. Li Chuanshou, Waningji, and the white-haired old lady from the Cloud Jade Pavilion cried out in surprise at the same time, murderous intent emerging in their eyes. They unleashed their powerful moves and attacked Lu Yun. It's worthy of being a treasure artifact. Even without fighting back, these people's attacks aren't necessarily able to break through my defense. That being said, Lu Yun had no intention of stopping his attacks. With one swipe of his saber, he forced the 3 Rune Seed Realm powerhouses to retreat. Then he unleashed the Golden Edge Sword Fang, turning it into 9 giant golden swords, and aimed at the remaining half-step Rune Seed Realm warrior. This half-step Rune Seed Realm powerhouse was from the Sky Brilliant sect. After seeing Lu Yun's instant killing of several people, he had been maintaining a distance, launching long-range attacks to support Li Chuanshou and the other 2 Rune Seed Realm powerhouses. At this moment, the 9 golden flying rainbows arrived in an instant, the overwhelming murderous aura enveloping him. Before he could react, his body was suddenly dismembered. Is this still a gold body realm? Wei Wei was already scared. A mere gold body realm martial artist was able to spare his hands to kill a half-step Rune Seed Realm powerhouse from the Sky Brilliant sect while being besieged by 3 Rune Seed Realm experts. You too. This youngster's strength is through the roof. We absolutely cannot hold back anymore. The white-haired Li Chuanshou with a youthful face shouted coldly. A long, slender sword appeared in his hand, and without moving, he swung it in several cutting and stabbing motions, unleashing frightful rune sword lights that surged towards Lu Yun, only realizing now, isn't it a bit too late? As he spoke, Lu Yun's body turned into a bolt of lightning, quickly floating towards Li Chuanshou. He moved so quickly that Li wasn't even able to perceive his approach. He could only faintly feel that his rune sword light had been torn apart by a powerful force. TSS, TSS, TSS! In an instant, his eyes were occupied by an extremely blood-red saber light. How could this be? Li Quanqi's voice stopped abruptly, his eyes full of disbelief as he stared at his headless body. The Wan Yingji from Rashomon's sect and the old woman from the Cloud Jade Pavilion were both shocked by this sudden turn of events. They stopped in their tracks and retreated frantically. Wei Wei, let's go. The white-haired old woman grabbed the cold-looking girl, who was shaking all over, and quickly moved away. The vice sect master of Rashomon's sect, Waningji, also turned into a bloodlight and escaped in another direction. After a brief period of thought, Lu Yun used the instant horizon, chasing after Waningji. In a blink of an eye, he appeared in front of his target, slashing his saber down, and split him in 2. From Wan Yingzi's escape to Lu Yun catching up and killing him, the entire process only took a dozen breaths. However, when he looked back in the other direction, he had already lost the traces of the other 2. When a Rune Seed Realm powerhouse does everything in their power to escape, a dozen breaths are enough for them to flee beyond his range of detection. Moreover, at this point, Yi Xian and the others were suffering from backlash and had no fighting power. If he left them unguarded, accidents could occur. In the end, Lu Yun gave up on the pursuit, choosing to return to the warship to protect the cultivation of Yi Xian and the others. On the number 18 warship, everyone stared at Lu Yun, dumbfounded. It was hard to believe that Lu Yun not only effortlessly resolved the nearly fatal crisis, but also killed his enemies with the power of thunder. His strength is probably close to the peak of the Rune Seed Realm. Such terrifying talent and ability to defeat superior opponents make him worth following. Yi Xian swept away his despondency, his eyes flickering with determination. He secretly decided that even if he broke through the Rune Seed Realm, he would closely follow Lu Yun's footsteps. After exiting the battle state, The black armor on Lu Yun's body had already turned into a purple-black outfit that swayed gently in the breeze. He glanced at Qing Ho and the others who were adjusting their breathing, shaking his head slightly. Gold body realm powerhouses, though considered top-notch in other places, couldn't play a significant role at their side now. As his strength grew increasingly stronger, the gap between the demon extermination general under his command and himself became wider, like a vast chasm. Not only could they not provide any assistance, they might even become a burden. It seems that we have become a burden. Sensing Lu Yun's gaze, Qing Ho detected some clues and bitterly smiled in his heart. However, he soon calmed down. At present, he had inscribed 75 runes, reaching the limit of his body. Next, as long as he condensed rune seeds, he would be a half-step rune seed realm warrior. Since I've finally found a strong person to follow, I must hold on tightly. Having swept away his previous despondency, Qing Hao's face showed a determined and confident expression again. In the Far Suppression Legion, any half-step rune seed realm powerhouse would be considered an absolute strong force. Chapter 4:26. The gap between the Golden Core realm in a certain mountain forest. Two figures descended. One was an elderly white-haired woman with a chaotic aura, panting heavily as she landed on the ground. The other was a coldly beautiful woman with a captivating figure and a stunning face. Wei Wei, I forcibly used a forbidden technique to burn my remaining life force. I'm afraid I may not be able to return to the sect with you, the elderly woman said, her face devoid of any injuries. But only she truly knew the severity of her condition. She had joined forces with Li Chuanshou and others to orchestrate the 3 sabers and 9 swords array earlier, using her hidden potential in the process. Her subsequent battle and the use of her trump card further aggravated her condition. The most critical part was the reckless use of forbidden techniques that completely burned away her life force, leaving her with only a few years left to live. Seeing the elderly woman in such a fragile state, Wei Wei was determined to remain calm. Supreme Elder, you are the pillar of Cloud Jade Pavilion. I'm sure nothing will happen to you. I will definitely bring you back to the sect, she promised. Cloud Jade Pavilion! The elderly woman struggled to lift her eyes, looking in the direction of the endless sky and mountains, where only white clouds could be seen. At this moment, she seemed to see something, a trace of longing in her scattered gaze. Wei Wei, the strength of the Demon Suppression Army is too powerful. Our sect may not withstand it. Even the Profound Darkness sect is under immense pressure right now. Our sect only has one path left, and that is to abandon everything and relocate the disciples out of the Profound Darkness domain. Originally, I intended to inform the Pavilion Master about this after the battle, but I'm afraid I don't have much time left. I can only entrust this matter with you. Supreme Elder, you will be fine. I will take you back. We will be there in no time. Just hold on. Ignoring her own need for rest, Wei Wei took the elderly woman and moved through the sky without any hesitation. The Sky Brilliant Sect's Supreme Elder, a mid-stage rune seed realm practitioner, was incredibly powerful. However, she had barely held on for a few rounds against the Demon Extermination General, which showed the terrifying strength of the enemy. She knew very well that if that terrifying Demon Extermination General caught up to them, she would not only be unable to save the Supreme Elder, but would also struggle to protect herself. Therefore, she dared not to pause at any cost. Elsewhere, after Yi Xian had recovered, Lu Yun casually walked to the peak of a towering mountain. Looking at the surrounding tall mountains, a sense of emotion filled his heart. Just 3 rune seed realms and a few golden body realms. Taking advantage of the terrain, they were able to unleash power comparable to the peak of the rune seed realm. The power of arrays should not be underestimated. Lu Yun had rarely encountered arrays. The first time he witnessed one was when the Black Tiger Army used one to battle the demon beasts just outside the Spirit Marshal Prefecture of Green Cloud County. However, That array was a battle array that gathered the ruthless killing intent and strong blood energy of the Black Tiger Army soldiers to unleash enormous power. From the current situation, the people who attacked them not only utilized the terrain, but also mobilized all the heavenly and earthly spiritual chi within thousands of miles to unleash devastating power, easily breaking the defense of the number 18 battleship. If he had not exited his seclusion in time, the Demon Extermination General and a group of Demon Extermination Guards on the battleship would have suffered severely, or even worse, lethal damage. Even with the power weakened by the protective shield, the remaining force was still not something the late-stage Rune Seed realm could withstand. Among the Demon Extermination Generals like Yi Xian, the most powerful was only a half-step Rune Seed realm. Adding to that, they suffered heavy injuries due to backlash. Facing the aforementioned attack, it would indeed be a deadly end. In the future, we will surely encounter more unexpected situations like this. I cannot always be there to resolve the crisis for them. After defeating the profound darkness sect, I will find an opportunity to improve this situation. What Lu Yun thought of was to request from Wei Tianluan to deploy 2 Rune Seed Realm experts to assist him in managing the Demon Suppression Army. Alternatively, he could give up his command and join a different, more powerful Demon Suppression Army. This way, he could both accommodate himself and ensure the safety of the others. Time flowed on, and 2 days later, the battleship set off again. By this point, all the black-rank Demon Extermination Generals had fully recovered from their injuries, and Qing Ho had condensed his rune seeds, becoming the second half-step Rune Seed Realm after Yi Xian. Although one half-step Rune Seed Realm was not much of a help to Lu Yin, it was a top-notch combat power for the Demon Suppression Army of the number 18 battleship, greatly enhancing their overall strength. The battleship rapidly approached the Sky Brilliant sect. According to their current speed, it would take several more hours to arrive. During this time, Lu Yin did not idle. He continued to enhance his cultivation, martial arts, boundless and infinite. Furthermore, he was only at the peak of the Golden Body realm and had a long way to go before he could condense rune seeds. As the battles against the 100 sects intensified, the enemies he encountered in the future would become stronger. The stronger his own cultivation was, the more risk he could hedge against. Unfortunately, the process of engraving runes was a step-by-step progression. Otherwise, he would have used all his energy to elevate his pure yang martial arts canon Golden Body chapter to perfection. Doing so would significantly damage his foundation and could even affect the quality of the rune seeds he could condense. At the moment, I have 25 runes. Increasing by 2 runes every day is my limit. At this rate, it will take me at least 1 more month to condense a superior rune seed. 1 month to engrave nearly 100 runes was a speed that no heavenly pride could match. However, Lu Yin still felt it was too slow. Chapter 4:27. The gap between the Golden Core Realm _2. My limit is not just 100 runes, which means it will take even longer to condense and refine rune seeds, Lu Yin pondered. At present, he only knew that as long as the Golden Body episode of the pure Yang martial arts canon was raised to the perfection limit, the number of runes could reach 100. However, after achieving perfection, he didn't know how many more runes could be added at the Reach Profound Realm and the Perceive Truth Realm that might follow. Thus, Lu Yin could not be sure of his own limits, nor could he know how long it would take to promote condensing rune seeds and trigger Thunder Tribulation specifically. Dismissing those thoughts, he focused on opening the panel. Name: Lu Yin. Power: Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Demon Suppression Army, Cultivation Technique, Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, Golden Body Episode, Perfection 25%, Astonishing Wind Saber Manual, 5th Layer, Destruction 100%, Life Destruction Saber Techniques, 2nd Layer, Unparalleled Blood Blade 100%, Wind Thunder Manual, 3rd Layer, Instant Horizon 100%, Fist Scripture, 2nd Layer, Sky Lion Shaking the Sky 100%, Finger Scripture, first layer. Formless tribulation finger, 100%. Innate talent, level 9 martial arts. Golden body realm peak, 25 runes. Energy value, for 93,000, increased by 50 per day. Conception, slaughter conception, 7th rank %. Thunder conception, 7th rank 1%. Spatial conception, 6th rank 1%. Skill, level 6 alchemy technique, 27%. Talent, white lotus flame, 7th rank 1%. Luck value, 2. The energy value on the panel had not only not decreased, but had increased by several 100,000. Lu Yun's explosive increase in energy value, of course, came from refining all the pills he had previously scavenged. Consume 10,000 energy points to increase pure Yang martial arts canon golden body episode to perfection 27%. As the cultivation technique was being upgraded, a golden diamond-shaped rune gradually formed above his yuan high. The formation of diamond-shaped runes was not a one-time process, but a continuous one. Lu Yin had also figured out a way to use the panel to greatly reduce the duration of this process. By relying on his own hard work and not adding points through the panel, he first sensed the existence of laws, carefully attracted them into the golden body, and then manipulated the pure yang strong origin to serve as a carrier for bearing the law, thus forming a law rune. With Lu Yun's level 9 innate talent, it would take 2 days and 2 nights to complete this process. By adding points through the panel, however, it greatly shortened the process. An hour later, a brand new diamond-shaped rune was formed. Another 2 hours went by, and a second rune formed. 2 runes were the limit for the day. Still, Lu Yun didn't stop cultivating. He controlled these 2 runes to increase his mastery over them. Rune control was different compared to the pure yang strong origin. Each rune was an individual entity and differed from each other, so it took some time to adapt to them. As Lu Yun concentrated on controlling the 2 new runes, the battleship approached rapidly towards the mountain range where the Sky Brilliance sect was located. Senior brother, I heard in the dining hall this morning that one of our sect's supreme elders and a few golden body realm elders went to intercept a demon suppression army. They haven't returned after 2 days. Do you think something bad might have happened? Don't talk nonsense. If the enforcers hear you, they'll surely charge you with the crime of disturbing the public's mind. Outside the Sky Brilliance sect, 2 patrolling disciples whispered to each other as they glanced around and relaxed only after confirming that there was no one else nearby. Boom! At that moment, they heard a sky-breaking noise approaching, and looking up, they saw an enormous object covering the sky in the distance. What kind of sea beast is that? How could it be so huge? A puzzled expression appeared on one patrolling disciple's face as his mouth gaped. The other patrolling disciple looked up as well, and his face immediately changed upon seeing the gigantic battleship. That's definitely not a sea beast. It's probably a battleship from the Demon Suppression Army. Hurry and signal the sect. Upon speaking, he quickly took out a jade slip, infused it with true chi, and activated a green sword radiance, which shot into the sky, illuminating the entire horizon. This jade slip was essential for every patrolling disciple. If a sea beast or an enemy invaded, they had to release the reserved sword radiance right away. As soon as the soaring sword radiance was detected, the mountain protection array of the Sky Brilliance sect was activated immediately. As a sect with thousands of years of heritage and established here for 800 years, the Sky Brilliance sect's sect protection array was extremely powerful. The moment it was activated, the sky was filled with azure light intersecting across the sky. Then, on the 9 peaks of the Sky Brilliance sect, rainbow lights appeared one after another. These were all powerful people of the Sky Brilliance sect, who had long learned of the Demon Suppression Army's intrusion into the profound darkness domain and the news of the Supreme Elder's failed attempt to intercept them. Therefore, they were all on standby, ready to face the approaching crisis. At the moment the Mountain Protection Array was activated, all members of the Sky Brilliance sect from the sect master and supreme elder to the newly joined disciples, emerged from seclusion right away. All who offend the Sky Brilliance sect shall be killed without mercy. The sect master of the Sky Brilliance sect stood in the air, surrounded by intertwining sword chi, his voice shaking in all directions. Supreme Elder Guan Daozhou stood solemnly, his feet stepping on a green gourd. The other strong individuals of the Sky Brilliance sect were all on high alert as well. The Mori Jin Demon Suppression Army was quite well known among the 100 sects. Only the very top sects such as the Red Moon Demon sect, the 9 Nether Demon sect, the Heavenly Mystery Sword sect, and the Green Cloud sect could barely compete with them. Now, to counter just a small part of the Demon Suppression Army's power, the Sky Brilliance sect had to rely on all of its resources and still did not have much confidence in their ability to survive. There was no choice. The formidable and notorious strength of the Demon Suppression Army had deeply penetrated the hearts of the 100 sects. There was no sect that could survive wherever the Demon Suppression Army went, not even given the option to surrender. This meant that there was only one path left for the Sky Brilliance sect, to fight to the death. In the distance, seeing the area covered in azure light, Lu Yun had a thought. It was within his expectations that the Sky Brilliance sect had a mountain protection array. After all, they could build an ambush at an extremely short time, using unfamiliar terrain to their advantage. From this alone, it could be guessed that the Sky Brilliance sect must have a mountain protection array. However, for the Demon Suppression Army, this protection array did not have much impact. General, the array-breaking all is ready. Yi Xian held a black box in both hands, opened it, and released a black all the size of a fist. Lu Yun nodded slightly, holding the black all with one hand. This was the array-breaking all, similar in rank to the number 18 battleship and classified as superior treasures. Playing with the array-breaking all in his hand, Lu Yun's gaze fell on the intricate patterns on it, brewing a terrifying power. Last time, when he followed Wei Zongqing and the Black Mountain sect, he saw with his own eyes the use of an array-breaking all, easily breaking the Black Mountain sect's mountain protection array. Now, as the leading general attacking the Sky Brilliance sect, he finally had the chance to use it. It is said that with the full power of the array-breaking all, it can unleash an attack comparable to a full-strength strike by a Golden Core Realm expert. Today, I want to experience for myself just how powerful a Golden Core Realm expert's full-strength strike can be. Lu Yun thought to himself. Previously, although he had seen Golden Core Realm experts in action from afar, he had only felt the terrifying power of each of their moves, but didn't know exactly how powerful they were. Now, by utilizing the array-breaking all's power, the opportunity had come. Thinking of this, he felt a slight excitement in his heart. I want to see just how great the gap between the Golden Core Realm and me truly is. As soon as his words fell, he took a step off the battleship and came to the sky above the Sky Brilliance sect. With his right hand outstretched, the array-breaking all appeared in his palm. To use the array-breaking all, one had to mobilize True Origin and Law Rune. If one's strength was insufficient, the array-breaking all would not achieve its full potential. This posed little challenge for Lu Yun. The immense Yuan Hai was activated, pouring all its power into the array-breaking all. Immediately afterwards, the black array-breaking all detached from his hand, emanating a deep black light and continuously expanding in size. Boom! As the array-breaking all constantly grew in size, with it at the center, a series of thunder and lightning sounds could be heard in the surrounding void, stirring up a terrifying spatial ripple whose area of influence kept growing wider. It hasn't reached its limit yet. The endless pure yang aura origin poured into the array-breaking all, causing it to grow even larger and unleash an increasingly terrifying force. The larger the array-breaking all, the more terrifying the power of the final strike would be. When the array-breaking all reached nearly 100 feet in size, the terrifying power contained within it made Lu Yun's heart tremble. But this was still not the limit of the array-breaking all. Chapter 4:28. Treasure. Heavenly splendor soared in the blink of an eye. The array-breaking all grew from the size of a fist to 100-foot-tall giant peak. Suspended in midair, its terrifying power at the tip stirred up the wind and clouds, as if it would pierce through space at any moment. Hasn't the array-breaking all reached its limit? Lu Yin was slightly shocked as he not only mobilized the power of his entire Yuan Hai, but also the strength of 27 runes. Nonetheless, he still felt that he hadn't unleashed the full power of the array-breaking all. At the same time, the power contained within the array-breaking all made Lu Yun's heart tremble. Although he currently only had 27 runes, when he fully exploded with power, he was no less inferior to a martial artist who had just entered the peak of the rune seed realm. Nevertheless, facing the still boundless array-breaking all, he felt somewhat overwhelmed. Because of this, Lu Yun finally realized how far apart he was from the Golden Core realm. It looks like in the future, he'll have to stay far away from Golden Core realm martial artists. Regaining his composure, Lu Yin began seriously manipulating the 100-foot-tall array-breaking all, aiming to pierce through the sect protection array that enveloped the Sky Brilliant sect. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. With a series of dreamlike explosions, the array-breaking all, carrying a terrifying penetrating force, fiercely struck the Sky Brilliant sect's sect protection array. The heavens and earth violently shook, while the 9 peaks of Sky Brilliant sect seemed to suffer from a powerful impact. Palace halls trembled violently, and towering trees shook intensely. Those Sky Brilliance sect experts who were quietly hovering in midair staggered. Their faces revealed a worried expression as they looked at the quivering protective barrier in the sky. The sect protection array had served as a barrier for their Sky Brilliance sect for hundreds of years, warding off many crises, including attacks from hostile sects and powerful sea beasts, but always standing firm. Now, faced with the Mori Jin demon suppression army, their confidence faltered. More than 800 years ago, Mori Jin had relied on their powerful treasures to forcibly break through one mountain gate after another, driving out the 100 sect from the 9 provinces, and their Sky Brilliance sect was one of those sections. However, the difference back then was that the Sky Brilliance sect was relatively weaker and didn't receive much attention from Morijin, so they chose to leave voluntarily. Today, facing the approach of the Morijin demon suppression army, they could feel that the terrifying pressure, even before engaging with them. Master, can the sect protection array withstand their attack? A white-robed young man, flying on a sword, looked at the middle-aged man beside him, his voice trembling. He had never encountered the demon suppression army before, nor knew of their terror. All he knew was that when his uncles in the sect mentioned the demon suppression army, their faces would change drastically. Now faced with the arrival of the Mori Jin demon suppression army, everyone in the Sky Brilliance sect was on edge. Such a scene gave the young man a new impression of the demon suppression army, powerful, terrifying, and seemingly impossible to resist. Now, from their sect master to the ordinary disciples, everyone had been called out to face the enemy together. Yet, they still couldn't see any smiles on their faces, only solemnity and seriousness. The middle-aged man looked back at his disciple, calmed his emotions, and tried to maintain a calm expression. He moved his lips, wanting to say something to soothe his disciple's emotions. But at that moment, a thunder-like sound exploded, causing the heavens and earth to tremble violently. Then suddenly, the sky shook, the ground quaked, and his eyes fell on the green light curtain covering the sky and encompassing the Sky Brilliant sect. All of a sudden, a loud neigh rang out. In that instant, a strong uneasiness rose in his heart. Not good, the sect protection array can't hold on any longer. A sudden, alarmed cry beside him confirmed his fears. As expected, after that alarmed cry, the space around them trembled even more violently. Origin Fluid Realm martial artists could no longer remain in the air while Golden Body Realm martial artists staggered. Only sect, Master Gong Sun Shuarong, and Supreme Elder Guan Daozhou stood firm. A crack sound suddenly echoed through everyone's ears. Following that, they saw a faint trace of light seeping through the green barrier protecting the sky brilliance sect in the sky. Soon enough, one crack after another appeared, interweaving and entangling with each other, forming a giant web. Bang! With a fierce sound, the barrier that had been covering the sky and capable of blocking Rune Seed Realm experts completely shattered. The countless rays of light from outside poured in fiercely, along with the awe-inspiring power contained within the array breaking all. All of it entered the sky brilliance sect and manifested as countless streaks of light, bombarding the 9 peaks above. The sect protection array is broken. The numerous sky brilliance sect disciples showed horror on their faces as they frantically fled. The streaks of light that shot down contained terrifying power, which could easily kill Origin Fluid realm martial artists. Sect Master Gong Sun Shuarong of the Sky Brilliance sect was surrounded by runes, stirring up a fierce wind that blocked the falling light rays. The Supreme Elder also danced with his green gourd, absorbing all the light rays that could destroy the mountains into his gourd. The remaining Golden Body Realm and Half-Step Rune Seed Realm experts also displayed their divine abilities, protecting their disciples from harm. They had no choice but to do so. If the sect's disciples suffered heavy casualties even before the demon suppressive army was discovered, they could not withstand the siege of the demon suppressive army. Finally, an enormous cone-shaped giant peak flew out of the massive vortex with a loud, rumbling noise.